A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Kroger Tender Ray Beef. No other beef so fresh can be so tender. Presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. Ladies, have you placed your Christmas order for your Kroger turkey? Yes, sir, Christmas is moving up. And when that day comes, you'll want to be sure you have a Kroger turkey roasting in your oven. Because your Kroger store is featuring the season's finest birds, Kroger priced for better value. These elegant birds are plump, tender, heavy-breasted. They have that real country fresh flavor. So, of course, a Kroger turkey turns out better when you cook it. Yes, when you choose a Kroger turkey, you choose the pick of the flock. And after you've cooked it, say you're ready to serve a royal treat. You see, Kroger turkeys are real aristocrats. They come out of the oven all crispy brown on the outside, firm-fleshed, plump and juicy on the inside. And while they're cooking, goodness gracious, the aroma will make your mouth water. That's because Kroger turkeys are top-quality birds, raised in the best turkey-raising areas by experienced turkey farmers. They're scientifically fed to make them plump and juicy. They're expertly dressed with all the care you'd take yourself. And they're carefully selected by critical experts to assure absolute top quality. This year, enjoy a really fine turkey and take advantage of the Kroger low price that actually helps you save. Place your order now and be sure you get the exact size bird you want. Visit your Kroger store without delay and ask your Kroger meat man to reserve one of these top-quality turkeys for you. And now, Hearts in Harmony. Life alone is not the important thing. It's what you make of it that counts. Life for Penny Gibbs could have been rendered meaningless with the death of her fiancé had she allowed it. But Penny instead found a purpose in life again, a community center for the young people of Rossville, helping others who need guidance. Chief among the people who receive Penny's help are young Nora and Freddie Lang. The two are at the farm this afternoon, sitting by the fireplace, as Freddie says,
Doesn't it seem peaceful out here, Nora? Nice and quiet. Restful.
Oh, crickets, yes. Oh, but Freddie, I feel so guilty.
You feel guilty?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, about what?
About all there is to do at Penny's house.
Oh.
Here I sit propped up in a big easy chair by a nice warm fire, just as if I were sick or something.
Well, you're not sick, Nora, but look, you're going to have a baby. You've got to change your tune from tote that barge and lift that bale to slow down, sister.
The way you talk, you think I was having the baby tomorrow. Oh, Freddie, I just hate staying out here when there's so much to do at Penny's house.
Yeah, I know. So much to do. Washing, scrubbing, cooking, taking care of Julie and the baby, waiting on Mr. Billings, going out to the store, mending, sewing, cleaning. What, jumping Jehoshaphat, Nora? You're just a little girl. You're not a workhorse.
I'm neither a little girl nor a workhorse. Besides, I never did all those things alone. Penny and Mrs. Billings always helped me.
Well, then for a couple of days, they can do everything by themselves. You know, you look better already. Yeah, we've only been out here a couple hours.
To be honest with you, Freddie, I feel better, too.
Good.
Because of the prospect of a couple of lazy days.
Mm-hmm. You were tired, weren't you?
A little.
I could tell that. You know, Crickets?
What?
There was something missing from your giggle. There's a missing now, though. Say, look, I'm going to have Dr. Ryan come out and look at you.
Oh, Freddie, please, don't bother Dr. Ryan again.
Well, now, Nora, he told me to get in touch with him this evening, and if he could, he'd run out here to see you. He wants to see how you are after you're relaxed a while.
Well, let's wait until I get back to town,
No, let's do it my way for a change, and do what's best for you and the baby.
Well, when you put it that way, if it's best for the baby.
And it's not bad for me either. I'm still too young for gray hair.
And too old to be worried about becoming a father.
Oh, I'm not worried about me at all. It's you. And look, Crickets.
What?
Just remember this. You're not one person now. You're two.
I'm two?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Freddie, that's right, I am. I'm two people.
Yeah.
Two people.
Mm-hmm. And that means that we're 3.
Yeah.
We're a family, Nora. You, me, and a baby. And what you and I are living for right now is, it's not ourselves, but for the baby. Yeah, our baby. Somebody that wouldn't and couldn't exist except for us.
Oh, Freddie, it's scary when you think of it that way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it gives you kind of a jolt, doesn't it? Makes you want to be sure that you've got your feet on the ground and a job and a little money in the bank. More than that, though, Nora, it makes you want to be sure. Sure that you have a home and that you're in love with someone who loves you and trusts you. And will see you through anything that comes along.
Freddie, what made you say that?
Oh, nothing in particular, Nora. Nothing special, but it's just what I was thinking, that's all.
Freddie, I don't like to ask you again because you seem to get kind of angry when I do, but something's bothering you, isn't it?
Bothering me? Oh, it's nothing you have to worry about, Nora.
But there is something wrong, isn't there?
Not anything that concerns you and me.
Oh, Freddie, you keep evading my question.
It's just not anything that we have to talk about, that's all.
See, you're angry again.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nora. I am. I didn't mean to do that. Guess you're not the only one that's tired. I'm a little tired, too. Been a tough year. Farm's a lot of work and a lot of worry. Sort of knocked myself out being excited about the baby, and maybe I need a couple days rest, too.
I think you do, Freddie. You're not the way you used to be. Funny all the time and making me laugh. We don't laugh half as much as we used to.
Maybe we're getting a little more serious about things. And in a lot of ways, that's good, Nora.
Of course it is, darling, but we don't ever want to be so serious about things that we don't have any fun at all, do we?
Oh, Nora, we'll always have fun. We'll have lots of it. Maybe right now we're just suffering from growing pains. Growing up pains, I mean.
I hope that's all it is.
Oh, you can bet that's all there is. It's about all it amounts to, Crickets. It's just a passing thing, and when we're used to all these responsibilities we see ahead of us and we find out how easy they are to handle, why, we'll laugh and we'll have fun just like a couple of kids.
Oh, Freddie, darling, you always make me feel so much better. If I always remember to listen to you and to do what you say, I know I'll never be unhappy.
You unhappy, Nora? Listen, I'll give up everything I ever hoped to have to make you happy and to keep you happy. And if I seem to be acting funny or angry or upset about anything, it's only because I get scared that something will happen to make you unhappy. Will you remember that?
Yes, Freddie. Oh, Crickets, Freddie, look at the time.
Gosh, and your dad's train gets in from Wayne City in an hour.
Yeah.
Look, I better get out of here. You'll be all right out here all alone, won't you?
Oh, sure, you'll only be gone a couple of hours, won't you?
Oh, at the most. The only thing that'll keep me away longer is if your dad's train is late or if he missed it and maybe he's taking a layover.
Yeah, but don't worry about me, Freddie. I've been alone before, and I won't be afraid. Well, after all, what is there out here to frighten me?
Hey, Penny! Hey, Gypsy! Where are you?
Freddie, I'm here in the game room.
Oh? Oh, you call this a game room?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, Gibbsy, to me it looks more like the scene of an explosion.
Well, remodeling a place certainly does make a mess out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you ask me, it would have been easier to build a new building from the ground up.
I almost think so, too. Say, did you pick up Nora's father at the station?
No, there was a wire from him when I stopped by at the house. He's not coming in until 9 o'clock tonight.
Well, is Nora alone at the farm?
Yeah, but she's going to be all right. Hey, look, I tried to get a hold of Dr. Ryan on the phone and have him go out and see her, but I couldn't reach him. You want to try later on for me?
Oh, yeah, sure I will. Oh, you brought Jed's drawings over to me.
Yeah, he said you could maybe use these. I told him I had a lot of time on my hands, so I thought I'd bring them along.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I left the house without them, and I could have used them a dozen times. Thanks.
Okay. So this is going to be Rossville's Community Center, huh?
Mm-hmm. You like it?
Well, if I know you, Gibbsy, out of this great big mess here is going to come a beautiful establishment. What do you have to be to get into this place?
Oh, no one special. Just a youngster looking for a place to have a good time.
Oh, well, then you can consider me a charter member, Penny. Number 1 on the list.
You were on the top of the list, Freddie.
Thanks. But look, all kidding aside, you know, I wish there'd been a place like this in my neighborhood when I was a kid. Yeah, I might have stayed out of trouble that way. Be a whole lot better off today.
Yeah, you're doing all right, though.
Thanks to you for straightening me out. You and a little luck. I wish there was a phone out at the farm.
You worried about Nora?
Oh, no, she's all right. She was feeling pretty good when I left her, but she expects me back in a couple of hours. Though I did say that her dad might come in on a later train.
Oh, well, if that's the case, I'm sure she won't be worried. And if I get in touch with Dr. Ryan, I'll try and have him go out there right away.
Oh, that's good. It'll be just my luck you'll be so busy you won't be able to make it tonight at all. Let's see, 5 o'clock now. I pick up Nora's dad at 9. Be out at the farm by 10.
Look, Freddie, why don't you go back to the farm and come in later just in time to meet the train?
Well, I'd like to do that, but I can't, Gibbsy. I got a little business to attend to. In town.
Oh? Is it what I think it is?
Yeah, it is. She gave me till tonight to get that money up, and I haven't got a dime of it yet. Don't know what I'm going to do either, but it's going to be something.
Yeah?
Come on, open up, Helen. It's me, Freddie.
Well, it's about time. You had just another hour, kiddo, and then I was coming to see you.
Yeah, I know. Helen, I got some bad news for you.
How bad?
It's plenty bad, unless you give me more time.
I told you I wanted that dough. I told you to get it up, and tonight, too, or I'll start doing things you don't like.
Now, look, Helen, if I were trying to run out on you or slough you off, would I have shown up here tonight?
You'd have showed up with the dough, not with empty pockets.
Well, I did show up, though, didn't I? And I'm not saying I won't get you the money. I just want some more time, that's all.
How much more time?
I don't know.
Well, you better find out.
Look, Helen, where am I going to get that much money?
Well, I don't know, but it's still early. You can get a lot of dough together between now and midnight. You got lots of friends.
Oh, no. Not going to borrow from my friends, Helen. And besides, I don't have much time either. I've got to meet Nora's dad at the station in an hour and then get right out to the farm. My wife's out there alone, and she doesn't feel so good.
Well, isn't that too bad? Now, look, Hugh. I said I wanted $1,000, and I... Okay, Freddie. I'll give you a break.
Yeah? How much of a break?
I don't know yet. I'll have to think it over. Come back and see me in a couple of days, and maybe I'll have something worked out.
What do you mean, Helen?
I mean, maybe I've been too rough on you, kid. I still want dough, and you're going to have to give it to me, but maybe I can get along without having it all at once.
Well, that's swell, Helen.
I don't want no arguments about it, and I'll get out of here before I change my mind.
Yeah, sure, Helen. Look, I'll see you in a couple of days, huh?
Yeah, next Monday or something. So long.
So long.
So his wife is out there at the farm all by herself. This is just what little Helen has been waiting for.
So Helen Burroughs knows that young Nora is ill and alone at the farm. Does Helen intend to go out there? And what will happen if she does? Is Nora in danger? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. Ladies, do you want a super good Christmas dinner? Then be sure the bird you put into your oven next Thursday is super good. Be sure it's a Kroger turkey. Yes, your Kroger store is featuring the season's finest turkeys. And it's a good idea to place your order early. Then you'll get the exact size you want. See your Kroger meat man as soon as possible and order your Kroger turkey. Kroger price for better value. These elegant birds are plump, tender, heavy-breasted, and carefully selected by critical experts to assure absolute top quality. These birds have a real country fresh flavor because they're raised in the best turkey-growing areas, because they're scientifically fed for flavor and expertly dressed, as cleanly as you yourself would dress a prize bird. So visit your neighborhood Kroger store without delay and order your Christmas Kroger turkey. Remember, if you place your order early, you'll make sure of getting one of these fine birds in the exact size you want. This Christmas, enjoy the tenderest, juiciest, best turkey you ever ate. Kroger price for better value. Yes, the Kroger low price actually helps you save. So order your Kroger turkey now at your Kroger store. Tune in Monday, same time, same station, for another exciting transcribed chapter of Hearts in Harmony.
This is Nightline, your open door to people and places, and this is Walter O'Keefe. Nightline invites you to listen in on NBC's award-winning science fiction series X-1. Now escape to a world of the future.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, A Wind is Rising by Finn O'Donovan. But first, hear this. Now, X-1. And tonight's story, A Wind is Rising.
I'd only been on Corella for 8 months. Not long for a seasoned advanced exploration man like myself, but long enough to know one thing. Before long, I was going to kill me a native Corellan. Maybe I was a little edgy. When you have to live inside a steel and concrete capsule just listening to that fantastic wind howl 24 hours a day, it begins to get you. Anyway, it started when Smanik, he was our Corellan radio man, came up to my quarters to get me. Corellans are a dirty brown and look something like big spiders with 5 hairy tentacles. Yeah?
Smanik, Earthman.
Well?
Other Earthman, tell Smanik, tell this Earthman, come pretty quick.
Okay.
You got lump sugar.
What for?
Smanik, do something favor. Get lump sugar.
No, I don't have sugar. Now beat it.
Maybe you got dead meat. Smanik like dead meat.
No meat. Now get your slimy shape out of here. Yeah, what's wrong?
Come on down with me. Clayton, I don't think it's good to insult these Corellans.
They have no feelings, you know that. They have no emotional nervous setup.
Just the same, I don't think it's good.
For who?
For you. When you insult somebody by your own standards, you hurt yourself. Even if the object of your insult is a dead thing.
Now, look, Mirishev, I'm an advanced exploration expert. You're an anthropologist. You stick to your stuff, and I'll stick to mine.
Sorry.
Now, what's the fuss about?
The water faucet.
What about it?
It isn't running.
What?
I pounded it and put a probe in. It must be blocked out at the storage tank.
How could it be blocked out there?
I don't know. Maybe the wind rolled a boulder at it.
More likely one of those spiders like Smanik was fiddling with it.
The natives have been told not to tamper with the water line.
They don't like us. They might.
I thought you said they were incapable of feeling like or dislike or any emotion.
I did. I know they can't feel, but still somehow I get the sensation that they resent us. I'm glad we've only got one of them inside the station.
Well, regardless of that, we can't live with our water supply cut off.
Oh, listen to that wind. It'll be murder out there.
I'll go. It's my turn.
You wouldn't know what to do if you got there.
It seems quite simple.
Well, come to think of it, it could be a two-man job if there's a boulder.
The wind gauge reads 82 miles an hour.
Just a light breeze on Corella.
Maybe we ought to wait till it drops a little.
Let's ask the gink.
Why don't we take him along?
The gink?
He knows the terrain, and like all his kind, he's a fantastic sailor. But they take those woven land boats out in 100-mile winds with no qualms at all.
The Brute, 14 tons, and it has a diesel engine. We don't need any sailors. If we have to use a steadying sail, I can handle it as well as any Spider-Man.
Just a suggestion.
You stick to anthropology. Open the locks and we'll get the brute out.
I'll need Smonik to close the locks after us. Smonik.
Eggman call.
Clayton and I are going out in the heavy land car. What's the weather going to be like?
Wind come up along little more. Not anything to be afraid. You got sugar.
Oh, here you are, Smonik.
Very good sailing today. You got sail on truck.
We have a steadying sail made of steel.
Woven reeds. More better. A more easy time.
We know all about that. Open the lock, Nereshev. The brute, as we called it, was armored like a tank and streamlined. It had vision slits of shatterproof glass, and most of its 14 tons were centered near the ground. It was sealed from dust, and had 6 giant tires made of woven steel mesh. It was built to take the rocky terrain of the planet Corella and to navigate in the gale-force winds that battered the planet. I strapped myself into the cockpit, and we were ready. The wind indicator told me that the winds had risen to 94 miles an hour and rising.
You're listening to A Wind is Rising, tonight's attraction on X-1.
Time, nighttime. The lights dim down for the curtain in theaters on Broadway. A Hollywood star greets the first guests at her party in Beverly Hills. In Chicago, the police plan to close the ring on a band of desperate criminals. At a world-famous circus in Paris, France, the star trapeze artist climbs to a precarious perch high over the center ring. In a Las Vegas nightclub, a hush falls over the tables as one of the great singing stars of our time steps out onto the stage. And in New York's Radio City, the studio warning light flashes, "Stand by." Nightline is about to go on the air, taking you to wherever in the country, wherever in the world, exciting things are happening at night. To make you more than a spectator, to make you a participant in these events. This is Walter O'Keefe, inviting you to join us on Nightline, your line to exciting entertainment at night, every
Monday through Thursday night over most of these NBC stations.
Now back to X-1 and A Wind is Rising.
I looked out over the instrument panel. The Corella station had been set down like an overturned bowl on a rocky plain. In order to get to the water storage tank, we had to travel 6 miles. Immediately around the station were our boulder baffles, huge spikes of concrete designed to stop the boulders that the wind rolled off the mountains. I shoved the brute into gear, and we were on our way. Hang on, Nereshev. Here we go.
The wind is up to 97. Do you suppose we're in for a storm?
The gink said it was fine sailing weather.
For a Corellan, maybe.
Well, this baby can take it. You see the pipeline yet?
The sand is pretty thick in the vision glass. There it is. About 2 points on the starboard bow.
I see it now. What's our speed?
3 miles an hour.
Give us a little more oxygen in here.
What?
Hey, there's something coming toward us.
Looks like a boulder. Hard right.
That was no boulder. That was one of those ginks out for a sail in his land ship.
Playful, aren't they?
Next one scares us like that, I'll shoot him, so help me.
I don't understand how they can sail those flimsy ships on those wooden rollers.
What's our wind speed now?
102 miles an hour. I think it's going to be a storm, Clay.
There's no point in turning back now. We can't live without water.
I'm game if you are.
What's the strongest storm we've ever recorded?
Well, let's see. In the 8 months we've been here, about 168 miles an hour.
Well, this baby was built to navigate up to 200. We'll be all right. We had had 2 storms on Corella since Earthmen had been there. The first one had almost wiped out the station. That's why the boulder traps were built. The second one had leveled an entire mountain range on the other end of the plain. By the time we reached the water storage tanks, the wind was up to 113 miles an hour. Well, this is it. One of us has got to put on an air suit and repair the damage. Means blowing out the line.
It's my turn.
What do you know about mechanical things? I'll go out. Fasten that nylon rope to me and winch it as I go along. I'll anchor the brute in the lee of the concrete breaker.
Maybe you ought to wait till the wind dies down.
It isn't dying down. It's rising.
We can radio Smanik at the station and get a report.
You think he'll give us a straight answer?
I trust him. Hello, Smanik. This is Nereshev calling Smanik.
This Smanik, Earthman.
How long is this wind going to keep up?
Long time. Maybe even longer.
More than 2 hours?
Yes.
Okay. Clayton is going out to fix the pipe. We'll be back in an hour if everything holds.
Okay.
Well, I'm ready. Lock my helmet.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Open the chamber. Here I go.
Outside, the wind thundered and roared like breaking surf. Once I was almost blown free, but the line held. By the time I crawled back into the ship, I'd cleared the water lines, but my suit was shredded and my air extractor was clogged with dust. The wind was up to 145 miles an hour and still rising.
You all right?
Yeah. All right, let's get this thing going. It's starting to shiver in the wind.
Right.
What's wrong?
I can't start the engine.
Here, let me try. Sand. Sand in the bearings, in the injectors, every place. She'll never start.
Good grief.
Well, we'll have to sail her back.
What?
I said we'll have to sail her back.
At wind speeds like this? It'll be like sailing a little dinghy across the Atlantic in a gale.
Well, what else can we do?
We'll put out the auxiliary anchor and ride it out.
Oh, no. One good boulder and we'd be goners. Come on, raise the sail.
Okay.
Release anchors. Hang on. Here we go. We raised the steel sail and tacked into the wind. Shoved by a wind that had now reached 175 miles an hour, the 14-ton brute soon picked up to a speed of 40 miles an hour. Even reefed down and heeled over, I couldn't hold her. And I had to winch out the steel main sheet to straighten her up. Then it began to happen. The thing we feared the most. What's that?
The wind is tossing rocks at us.
Well, as long as we're not capsized, we'll be okay.
She's heeling at 45 now.
It's no problem. So rock smashed the visor. Put on your oxygen mask.
Wait.
Boiling along now, 75 miles an hour. Cleve, there's a boulder coming. Down the mountain. I can't head her up. Get off. No use, I'll have to try. You can't. Hang on! Wait, mistress. That boulder's as big as a city block. You're headed for the cliffs. Winch in the sheet again. We'll head up toward the station. No, it's no use. I can't head her up. We'll have to run with the wind. You can't run far. The cliffs are dead ahead. Let's drag the emergency anchor. Maybe it'll slow us down. Suppose it falls. Worry about that later. Drag it. That's better. I may even be able to head her up now. Those cliffs. Holy smoke, look at that. A dozen current land ships sailing toward the station like it was a fine afternoon. They usually keep away from the station. There's no time to worry now. Wedge in the sheet. I'm going to head up higher. What was that? Boulder. Snapped the mast off. Holy mother. We're being blown toward the cliffs. Is that land anchor out? Yes. Oh, pray it'll foul and hold us. Pray. Oh, Father, what? We're fouled. Yeah. And it's holding. Now if it'll just bite in. I think we're anchored. But listen to those boulders. We won't last 10 minutes anchored here. Move over. Why? I'm going to try the diesel again. I don't know, maybe it's a long shot, but maybe. It's caught. It's caught. Come on, baby. Start. Start! That's it. She's running. She's running. All right, let go of that anchor. Warm up that coffee, Smanik. We're coming in.
Somehow the engine coughed and spit us back to the station. The boulder defense was completely flattened, and one side of the capsule was dented by a huge rock. But otherwise it was still holding. The winds were up to 212 miles an hour at the time. A dozen Corellan land ships were moored by their long vines on the lee side of the station, and more ships were coming in every minute. We slid into the tube and entered the capsule.
Welcome, Earthmen. You have nice sail.
Shut up, you crummy gink.
Earthmen not pleased.
You told us the weather would hold.
Old Corellan saying, one can predict weather, but not do something about it. Very true.
Yeah. We almost died out there. You wouldn't have been planning anything like that, would you?
Smanik no understand.
No? Well, do you understand this? Now get out of here. Get out before I blow your ugly head off with this gun.
Very difficult for Smanik to be without head. Impossible to eat sugar or dead meat for almost 3 weeks before new head grow. Smanik join his people now for summer festival.
Now you do that. Pronto.
Wait a minute, Smanik. Did you say summer festival?
Oh, yes. Ancient Corellan festival. When summer ends, we go sail away to caverns in far west.
Caverns?
Yes. We live in caverns for 3 months. In that way, we have safety.
Safety? From what?
From winds. After summer is over, come winter storms. First storm of year about to start any moment now.
About to start? What do you call what we've been having? The wind is 238 miles an hour right now. The brute's ruined, the boulder defense is leveled, the foundations are cracked.
Very regrettable. Perhaps you like to come stay with us in caverns. Bring sugar.
Impossible. We need oxygen, food, our own water.
Very regrettable indeed. Well, maybe you don't stay and colonize our planet after all. Yes. Really big wind starting to rise now. Smanik go.
Goodbye, Smanik. Thanks for your help.
Smanik do favor. Glad to help. You got sugar?
Fred Collins again, and I'll have another word for you about X-1 in a moment. If that's the game you're missing because of a mean cold, here's something you should know.
Every second someone takes it for the miseries of a cold.
Millions more take bromoquinine.
Every second someone takes it for the miseries of a cold.
Bromoquinine.
More people have taken more bromoquinine cold tablets for more complete relief than any other cold tablet ever sold. You could take aspirin or other single-action cold remedies all day and not get bromoquinine's more complete relief, even for virus colds. Bromoquinine works to relieve stuffy nose, body aches, fever, irregularity, the blues, and headache. More complete relief, because bromoquinine is the only cold tablet sold with wonder-working quinine and 5 other medicines, health-fortified with vitamin C. Remember...
Every second someone takes it for the miseries of a cold.
Millions more take bromoquinine.
Get bromoquinine brand cold tablets.
You have just heard X-1, Presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Finn O'Donovan's story, Gray Flannel Armor, which makes you wonder if knights would have been still more bold in days of old if they'd had transistor amulets. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. X-1 has brought you A Wind is Rising, a story from the pages of Galaxy, written by Finn O'Donovan and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in our cast were Les Damon as Clayton, Bert Cowlin as Nerishev, and William Griffiths as Smanik. This is Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by George Voutsas and is an NBC Radio Network production.
There's excitement in the air at night, and Nightline brings it to you. Hear Nightline with Walter O'Keefe, next on most of these NBC stations.
This is Nightline, your tie line to the world, and this is Walter O'Keefe. Tonight, a visit to worlds strangely different from ours, the world of the future, the world of X-1. Now, here is the future, X-1.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, Death Wish by Ned Lang. But first, hear this. During the theater season in New York, people flock from everywhere in the nation to see the latest Broadway plays. But very few of these people have ever been fortunate enough to experience the thrill and excitement backstage at one of Broadway's top musical comedies. Tomorrow night, Monitor invites you along as Don Russell goes backstage at the Broadway musical hit Simply Heavenly, introducing you to the cast, the author, listening to the songs from this fine musical show. It'll be an experience you won't soon forget. Then, on Saturday, for sports enthusiasts, Army versus Notre Dame, and Monitor brings you this football classic direct from Municipal Stadium in Philadelphia. Add to these features Monitor's special coverage of the pomp, ceremony, and celebration during Queen Elizabeth's tour of Canada. Visits from celebrities like Mickey Rooney, Tennessee Williams, Tony Bennett, and Burl Ives, and you have some idea of the top variety of entertainment Monitor will bring you all weekend. So start your weekend right with Monitor on Friday night and stay with Monitor all weekend long over most of these same NBC radio stations. And now, X-1 and tonight's story, Death Wish.
Fuel consumption normal. We'll reach Point Able in 10 seconds from now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cut.
Well, gentlemen, we're on our way to Mars. Mr. Ratchett, give me a 30-second warning before we reach Point Baker.
Very well, Captain. Now, Mr. Watkins, what's the condition of your engines?
Don't you worry about my engines. The Deidre may be a cantankerous old crate, but she's good for another 5 or 10 round trips to Mars. You can lay to that.
Look at him, Captain. If anybody criticizes his engines, you can actually see that walrus mustache of his bristle.
Listen, Ratchett, I've had about enough of these personal remarks of yours. Stick to your navigation and let me alone.
Now, Watkins, let's not get into another of those arguments. Now, that's an order.
Aye, sir.
You had a reason for asking about your engines. I've made enough trips to Mars to know the way a ship should sound. There's something about this one. I don't know quite what.
There's nothing wrong with this ship, Captain Summers. I'll tell you something, though, every engineer worth his salt knows. There are just two kinds of equipment. The kind that fails bit by bit, and the kind that goes all at once. When something happens to the Deidre, you'll know it right away. You won't have to ask.
Well, maybe so. But I wonder if our cargo didn't shift on the takeoff. Mr. Ratchett, would you be kind enough to check on it?
You bet, Captain. Right away.
You worried about that new Farrington computer we're carrying, Captain?
Oh, not worried exactly, but it's a responsibility. That thing is by far the largest, heaviest, most delicate piece of machinery ever transported in space.
It's an evil thing, with its blinking eyes and scheming brain. I'll be glad to get to Marsport and get it off the ship.
And so will I, Watkins, but not quite for the same reason. I don't quite share your feelings about the personality of machines.
That's because you don't know anything about them, Captain. I do. And I don't like that computer thing back there in the hold.
All in order in the hold, boss. Cargo hasn't shifted.
All right, Mr. Ratchett. Maybe I'm borrowing trouble, huh?
30 seconds to Point Baker, sir.
Very well. Strap yourselves on the acceleration couches again. You sure you don't read anything, Mr. Watkins?
Not a thing, sir. I'll vouch for every bit of equipment on the Deidre.
15 seconds to Point Baker.
Prepare for new acceleration.
Engines ready for firing, sir.
10, 9, 8.
We fire for
7,
exactly 5 seconds
6,
on reaching Point Baker
5,
for maximum acceleration.
4, 3, 2, 1. Fire!
That's fine. It didn't cut off.
We're overfiring. My fuel.
The course. We'll be off course.
The switch doesn't respond.
Emergency cutoff. Hit the emergency.
I can't move my arms. Acceleration.
Stop it. Stop the rockets.
My arms so heavy. If I could just reach cutoff switch. There. What happened?
We're on emergency lights. We blew the generator. Of all the lousy things to happen.
Well, what was it?
Main firing circuit. It fused on us. Metal fatigue, I'd say. Must have been flawed for years.
When was it last checked out?
Well, it's a sealed unit, Captain. It's supposed to outlast the ship. Absolutely foolproof.
Unless it's flawed.
Now, don't go blaming it on me. Those circuits are supposed to be X-rayed, heat-treated, fluoroscoped. You just can't trust machinery.
How are we on fuel?
Not enough to push a kiddie car down Main Street. If I could just get my hands on those factory inspectors...
Mr. Ratchett, how does this affect our course?
I'm computing it now.
Well, hurry it up.
I'm working as fast as I can.
Mr. Watkins, can we fire those rockets on manual?
Sure we can. But we only have enough fuel for about a 3-second burst. It'll mean a crash landing.
We'll worry about that when we come to it. Well, Mr. Ratchett?
This kills us, Captain. We're going to cross the orbit of Mars before Mars gets there.
How long?
Too long. Captain, we're flying out of the solar system at just under the speed of light.
You're listening to Death Wish, tonight's attraction on X-1. Now back to X-1 and Death Wish.
Look at him. Look at how he sits there staring at nothing. Here we are kiting off into space, and what do? We got a little fuel left. We can turn the ship, can't we? Look, you are a navigator, aren't you?
I am, Mr. Watkins. And for your information, if I plotted my courses the way you maintain your engines, we'd be plowing into the middle of Australia right now.
Why, you little company toady. At least I got my job honestly. Not by marrying the owner's daughter.
Why, you dirty old man.
Stop it, both of you. No more of this now. I give the orders here.
All right, then give some. Tell him to plot a return curve. This is life and death.
All the more reason for keeping our heads. Strategic, can you plot such a course?
It's the first thing I tried. On the fuel we got left, there isn't a chance. Best I could do would be a degree or two. That won't help.
What do you mean it won't? We'll turn back into the solar system.
Sure, but the best curve we can make will take us a few thousand years to complete.
What about a landfall on some other planet? Neptune, Uranus?
Impossible. In the first place, the right planet would have to be in the right place at the right time. And if it were, we'd need fuel, a lot of fuel, to get into a braking orbit. And if we could, who'd come and get us? No ship has gone past Mars yet.
Yeah, but maybe there'd be a chance, just a slim chance.
Maybe, but we can't swing it. Gentlemen, I'm afraid we'll have to kiss the solar system goodbye.
It just doesn't seem possible. Who would believe we're traveling at almost the speed of light? Look out the viewing port. You'd swear we were standing still in space.
Yeah, that's because there's no reference point, as you know. I assure you, we're traveling faster than any men have ever traveled.
What shall we do, Captain?
I don't know, Watkins. I just don't know.
Our noble captain can't face the situation.
Of course I can face it. I can follow any course you plot. That's my only real responsibility. Now, let's get a grip on ourselves. Mr. Radjic, suppose you raise Mars on the radio.
Aye, sir. Deidre to Marsport. Deidre to Marsport. Urgent. Repeat, urgent. Come in, Marsport.
Marsport to Deidre. Read you. Over.
Emergency, Marsport. Firing mechanism jammed. Fuel almost totally expended. Acceleration 15 seconds past safe maximum. Heading out of solar system. Request help. Over.
Can you turn the ship, Deidre? Can you put it into any kind of an orbit? Over.
No fuel, Marsport. We can only turn a degree or two. Over.
Put your captain on, Deidre. Over.
Captain Summers, Marsport. Over.
Captain, what do you propose to do?
Good Lord, man, that's what we're asking you.
What do you propose to do? Okay, what do you propose?
What are they saying?
I don't know. I couldn't catch it. Mr. Radjic, can't you get better reception?
We're rapidly running out of range, Captain. I'll give it all the gain I can get.
To Deidre. Marsport to Deidre. Can you read me?
There they are.
Shut up. Deidre, what can you do for us? Over.
Captain, we can't think of a thing. You could swing into any sort of orbit.
We can't. I told you that.
Under the circumstances, Captain, you have the right to try anything at all. Anything, Captain.
Oh, that's nice of them.
What do they expect us to do, complain to the company?
Listen, Marsport. Marsport, do you still read me? Over.
Read you faintly. Go on, but hurry.
I can think of just one thing. We could bail out in spacesuits as near Mars as possible. The Diana is laying over there, isn't she? You could have her pick us up. Over.
Sorry, Captain. You're confused. If you left your ship, your momentum would not be affected. You and your crew would continue through space at the same rate as the ship. Over.
Of course, I wasn't thinking. I have it. Send the Diana out to intersect our course. Maybe we can find some way to transfer. My navigator will help you plot the intersection. Over.
They're gone again.
Hello, Marsport. Hello, Marsport. Come in, Marsport.
I can't bring them in again.
Do it that way. Sorry. Over.
You mean you can't do it? Why not? It is our only chance. Over.
Diana's laid up, having her engines overhauled.
How long before she can be spaceborne?
Too long. 3 weeks. Sorry, Captain. I wish we could think of something. But the only thing we can suggest...
What? I didn't get it.
Reception's gone again, Captain. We're getting out of range. I don't know whether I can raise them again or not.
Well, try. Come on, maybe that suggestion
what can they suggest that we don't already know?
Even the static's getting weaker now.
We only knew what they were going to say.
What's the difference? They didn't really think it would work anyhow.
Wait a minute. Wait. Maybe something come... Hold it.
Suggest. Can you hear? Suggest, most unlikely, but try calculator. Try calculate.
They're gone. For good this time.
I heard what he said. The calculator.
Does he mean the Farronson computer in our hold?
Yes. Yes, I see what he meant. The Farronson's a very advanced job. No one knows the limits of its potential. He suggests we present our problem to it.
That's ridiculous. The problem has no solution.
It doesn't seem to, but the big computers have solved other problems that seem to have no solution. No, we can't lose anything by trying.
Yeah, not as long as we don't pin any hopes on it.
That's right. We don't dare hope. Mr. Watkins, I believe this is your department.
What's the use? You say don't hope, but both of you are hoping anyhow. You think the big electronic god is going to save your lives? Well, it's not.
Well, we have to try, man.
Who says we do? I wouldn't give it the satisfaction of turning us down.
Are you implying that machines think?
You bet I am, because they do. No, I'm not out of my head. Any engineer will tell you that a complex machine has a personality all its own. Do you know what that personality is like? It's cold, withdrawn, uncaring, unfeeling. A machine's only purpose is to frustrate desire and produce two problems for every one it solves. And do you know why a machine feels this way?
You're hysterical.
Oh, no, I'm not. A machine feels this way because it knows it's an unnatural creation in nature's domain. It wants to reach entropy and cease. It's a death wish. A mechanical death wish.
Gibberish. Watkins, are you going to hook up that computer?
Oh, sure, I'm human. I keep trying. I just wanted you to understand that there's no hope. I'll get it warmed up.
We better watch him.
He'll be all right.
Maybe. He's blaming the situation on a machine personality now, trying to absolve himself of guilt. It's his fault we're in this spot. An engineer's responsible for all equipment.
What's the good of blaming anybody?
None, I guess. Personally, I don't much care. This is as good a way to die as any. Better than most.
Don't talk like that.
Why not? Death in space is an appealing idea in certain ways. Imagine an entire spaceship for a tomb. And you have a certain choice in how you die. Thirst, hunger, heat, cold...
Shut up! Now that's an order.
This is your first real emergency, Captain. And you're responding like a stunned ox. Wake up. You can't live with joy. At least try to extract a little pleasure out of your dying.
Shut your mouth.
Well, gents, your little tin god's ready and waiting. Anybody care to make a burnt offering in front of it?
Have you given it the problem?
Most of it. You two have to punch up your own details. Position, elapsed time from maximum acceleration, water, oxygen, food.
All right. Come on, Ratchik.
Did you tell it we want to return to Earth alive?
Oh, yes. Yes, it loves that part. It'll get such pleasure out of rejecting the problem as unsolved. Oh, no, it won't say that. It'll say insufficient data.
And I'll punch up the rest of the information.
Insufficient data. You see the point? It hints a solution is possible, but just out of reach. A subtle torture. It can keep us hoping.
There. That's the complete picture. Now let's see what happens when I press this.
Now just keep your eye on that red light up there. If it goes on, it means the problem is rejected. Watch it now.
And if it solves it?
That's a little bell, sort of like a typewriter bell. But you won't hear it, don't worry.
Don't say that.
What's the matter, Rodgick? Superstitious?
Oh, shut up. You two have to keep up that everlasting wrangling.
Well, not for long, Captain. We haven't much longer to live, Captain. Maybe that's good.
What's that?
A solution. It's found a solution.
Must be a mistake. There is no solution. It's fooling us, leading us on.
Now who's superstitious?
Here's the tape. The solution's on this.
What's it say? Come on, read it.
No, not me. You read it, Captain. I won't play its fiendish game.
Oh, I see. That's fine. That's just fine.
What does it say, for the love of heaven?
You figured a few thousand years to return to the solar system, Ratchik? Well, the computer agrees. 2,300 years, to be precise. Therefore, it has given us the formula for a longevity serum.
2,300 years. What are we supposed to do? Hibernate?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, the serum does away quite neatly with the need for sleep. For 2,300 years, gentlemen, we three sit here in this little ship and look at each other. 2,300 years of that.
Yeah, that's just the sort of thing a machine would do.
Fred Collins again, and I'll have another word for you about X-1 in a moment.
That how you feel, blue and miserable with a deep-down cold? Listen.
Every second someone takes it for the miseries of a cold.
Millions more take bromo quinine.
Every second someone takes it for the miseries of a cold.
Bromo quinine.
More people have taken more bromoquinine cold tablets for more complete relief than any other cold tablet ever sold. You could use aspirin or cough syrups or nose drops all day and not get bromoquinine's relief. Bromoquinine works to relieve stopped-up nose, body aches, fever, irregularity, the blues, and headache, too. Yes, more complete relief for even virus colds. For bromoquinine is the only cold tablet sold with wonder-working quinine and 5 medicines health-fortified with vitamin C. Remember,
every second someone takes it for the miseries of a cold.
Millions more take bromo quinine.
Get bromoquinine brand cold tablets.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features You Were Right, Joe, by J.T. McIntosh, the story of a time traveler who, going into the future, hardly expected to encounter a Neanderthal man. Read it in Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. X-1 has brought you Death Wish, a story written by Ned Lang and adapted for radio by William Welch. Featured in our cast were Ralph Camargo as Watkins, Maurice Tarplin as Captain Summers, Walter Black as Ratchek, and Joseph Bell as the radioman. This is Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by George Voutsas and is an NBC Radio Network production.
There's excitement in the air at night, and Nightline brings it to you. Hear Nightline with Walter O'Keefe, next on most of these NBC stations.
The magic island of Euclidia is over 4,000 miles from Los Angeles, California. And now our friends of the Adventuring Gregory party are just that far from the magic island. Yes, they're safely home at last. However, as well as we've learned to know Mrs. Gregory, her daughter Joan, Jerry Hall, and Captain Bradford, it doesn't seem likely that they'll stay safely at home very long. In fact, as we pick up the story now at Mrs. Gregory's mansion in Los Angeles, plans are being discussed which haven't anything to do with staying home and being safe. Captain Bradford, Mrs. Gregory, and Joan are talking in the library while waiting for Jerry to join them.
But, Mother, why must we hurry about our plans to return to Euclidia?
Because, Joan, dear, the Euclidians are hurrying with whatever plans they're making about us.
I will concede that.
And another thing, Joan, which is not as apparent to you as it is to us. Something has to be done about that island, and done quickly, or it'll be too late.
Too late for what, Captain Bradford?
Too late to prevent those scientists bringing all their inventions to this country and doing as they please.
And would that be such a terrible thing?
Yes, Joan, it would.
But, Mother,
I know what you're going to say. The Euclidians know far more than we do when they would help the world with all their marvelous discoveries.
Precisely, and that is true.
Granted that they could introduce a culture, an advanced education which the world needs badly. I still feel that their methods in bringing this education to us might be a little too drastic for a majority of the population.
You do not want to see your people educated, Captain?
It isn't that, Joan.
Of course it isn't. And let me remind you of one very vital thing you appear to have overlooked. There are a great many kinds of scientific education we can do nicely without. Now, for example, I think most people prefer sitting down to a good meal, to one of those concentrated food tablets we had on board the submarine.
Yet you admitted the concentrated food pellets provided adequate nourishment.
Sure they did, Joan. And they certainly served their purpose, but that was an emergency.
Exactly. And everything done on Euclidia is the same. Your airplanes can fly 1,000 miles an hour, but except for emergencies, no one has any reason to fly 1,000 miles an hour.
Suppose another country would attempt to take over the control of this country. Would you not like to have some 1,000-mile-an-hour planes then?
Well, naturally, but that's another emergency. War isn't a continual state of affairs. What your mother is trying to explain to you is that too much knowledge, too much speed, too much perfection rob us of many of the leisurely, pleasant ways of living, which are, after all, the only pleasures in living.
I must confess, I do not see it as you do.
You will, dear, after you've seen and enjoyed more of the pleasures in our world.
I should like that. But how am I to enjoy those pleasures if we are immediately going to organize an expedition and return to Euclidia?
Jerry will be able to take you around and show you a great many things, Joan. And even though you know far more than any of your instructors will be able to tell you, I want you to attend school.
School? I am to be taught to read and write when I have known that since I was 3 years old?
Not quite that bad, Joan. Jerry has another year of high school to complete. And your mother and I thought it would be nice if you went with Jerry. I'm sure we could arrange to have you admitted.
High school? What is a high school?
Well, I think you'd better form your own conclusions about that. At any rate, you will remain here in school. I'll have a housekeeper and guardian look after your interests while Tex and I are gone.
You and the captain are going where?
Back to Euclidia. We've got to take charge of that place, Joan. Put those scientists under some sort of regulation where their discoveries can be used only for good and protect the world against any wild ideas they might have.
But you would not go back there without Jerry and me.
Yes, Joan, dear. You and Jerry must stay here.
Why should we stay here?
Oh, many reasons. Your safety, for one.
But what of your safety?
Oh, I'll be safe enough. Tex and I are going to take along sufficient equipment to ensure our safety. And we'll turn the tables on Euclidia this time.
Yes, don't worry about us, Joan. We'll be as safe as we would be right here at home.
You are very definite about that.
Why, of course, Joan. We'll be perfectly safe.
Then why would not I be safe with you?
What?
If you will be safe, why would I not be safe with you?
Yes, of course. I think if you'll excuse me, Pat, I'll run along.
Oh, no, you'll do nothing of the kind. Sit right down here and help me get out of this.
You will not be able to extricate yourselves so easily. The fact remains that if you will be safe on a trip to Euclidia, I will be equally safe.
Well, there's a certain amount of risk connected with any such expedition.
And we feel that you and Jerry will be safer at home.
Would you not be safer at home?
Why, yes, I suppose we would.
Then I do not want you to go.
You what?
I do not want Mother to go if she will be in danger.
But, Joan, I am your mother, and I will say what we will and will not do.
That I do not like about your world. Older people are always allowed to do as they please, even if they are wrong, while younger ones are forbidden to do the things that are quite safe, proper, and harmless.
Well, now, Joan, you're getting into the oldest discussion known to modern parents and teachers. No one has ever settled it to anyone's satisfaction yet.
I realize that your training on that strange island has given you a great many ideas which do not fit in any too well with the conditions as you will find them here. But I think I can explain why parents are allowed to give orders to their children and why children should obey.
I will be very glad to hear your reason, Mother.
Well, as I see it, parents give orders and children respect their wishes, not because parents are so wonderfully smart or have any more rights than the children, but simply because parents are older and their judgment should be better in a majority of cases. Parents make mistakes, lots of them, but their mistakes should be fewer because of their greater experience.
That is entirely reasonable, and I can understand how that might hold true in your world.
Good for you, Pat. You sure made that clearer than I would have. Now, are you satisfied that your mother is competent to arrange your activities, Joan?
While we are living here, yes. But on a trip to Euclidia, no.
But, Joan, dear...
The situation is entirely reversed, Mother. On matters pertaining to the island, my judgment is better than yours.
Now, where do we go from here?
I give up, Tex. You'll have to try it again tomorrow.
I thought Jerry was coming over tonight.
Jerry is to be here at 7 o'clock.
He'd better hurry. It's 1 minute of 7.
Then he will be here in 60 seconds.
I'm afraid, my dear, that you won't find things in our world running exactly on schedule as they did on the Magic Island.
Why should they not?
Time isn't quite as precious around here.
But Jerry said that he wanted very much to see me. And if he wanted that so very much, he would be on time to look at me.
Well, perhaps you'll learn that a young lady can't always depend on all a young man says.
I do not like that. 7 o'clock was the time agreed upon, and I shall expect to see Jerry at 7.
Well, I hope for Jerry's sake he gets here on time.
But after all, Joan, dear, the time is not so very important.
Indeed it is. Jerry is going to take me to a motion picture show.
I don't know about that.
Decidedly not.
But, Mother, you said Jerry might show me some of the things he enjoys so much.
Yes, and at the right time, you may see them all, but not tonight.
What reason have you for that?
Well, we're being watched a little too closely now. And there's 7 o'clock. Looks as if Jerry had played you false.
Jerry will be here.
Hello, everybody. Here I am, right on the dot.
Figured it mighty close, though, Jerry.
Well, how come? I said 7, and the clock was just striking as Johnson showed me to this room.
Now, what is your opinion as to Jerry's punctuality?
Better than I had hoped for. Won't you sit down, Jerry?
Oh, thanks. Gee, but you look nice, Mrs. Gregory.
Thank you, Jerry.
Do I not look nice, Jerry?
You're off to a bad start, son.
Oh, sure, you look nice. But, well, so does your mother. She comes first.
There, Joan. Now, that's a good example of what we were discussing. Jerry came to see you. We all know his interest is more in you than the rest of us. Yet he addressed me first simply because I'm older.
No, I didn't. I said it because you look nice. I couldn't see anything else.
Jerry.
Go right ahead along those lines, boy, and Joan will ask Johnson to throw you out.
Well, gee, you know what I mean.
Oh, of course, Jerry. Now, you two forget your eternal quarreling for a few minutes and listen to what Tex and I have to say.
Oh, sure, Mrs. Gregory. But we got to go pretty quick, or it's going to make it too late to go to a show.
We are not going to a show.
Huh? What's wrong?
Nothing definite, but Tex and I have decided that it's not any too wise to allow you youngsters to run around at night just now.
Is that not silly, Jerry?
Well, it sure makes me feel like a baby, but maybe there's a reason for it.
There is, and a good one. Don't forget that there's one of the Euclidean scientists running around loose in this town. Or at least he was the last time we heard anything about him.
You refer to Thales?
Yes, dear, that Euclidean electrical wizard.
And you think Thales might try to do something to Joan or me?
Don't you think he might?
Well, yes. I guess so.
Jerry, I am disappointed in you.
Joan, don't forget that these Euclideans are still after my formula. Don't forget that they may not feel any too kindly disposed towards us after we left a couple of their submarines helpless out in the Catalina Channel. And above all, don't forget that they know we're planning another expedition to the island.
Oh, I know all that. Well, I guess you're right. We ought to stick pretty close together until this thing is over with.
If the danger is as great as that, why was it not dangerous for Jerry to come over here tonight alone?
Well, it was dangerous, Joan, and I should have thought of that during the day.
Well, you're here now, Jerry, and we'll see that you get home all right. But in the meantime, suppose we do a little planning.
About what?
Our return to Euclidia. You and Joan might have a lot of ideas that would prove helpful to us.
Yeah, and this time we'll know a lot more about what we're running into, won't we?
Jerry?
Yes, Mrs. Gregory?
Well, I know this isn't going to be pleasant news to you, or at least you'll think it isn't. But you won't be going with us when we return to the island.
Huh? I mean, what?
That is what Mother and the Captain have told me, Jerry. You and I are not to be allowed to accompany them on their trip to Euclidia.
But, gee, why not?
Too dangerous, Jerry, and you should be in school.
Oh, but it's just as dangerous for you folks.
That was my argument.
Joan will remain here, and you may spend as much time with her as your studies will permit, Jerry. But even here, you must be very careful.
Remember that there is at least one Euclidean in California, and he might decide to strike at you and Joan after we're gone.
Well, you bet he might. And that's why I think Joan and I'd be a lot safer if we were with you.
Now, Jerry...
Yes, Mother, Jerry is quite correct. It would be most unwise to leave us here.
Nevertheless, we're going to do just that.
Well, what if somebody kidnaps Joan while you're gone?
That's your job, Jerry, to see that nothing of the sort happens.
That is not fair to Jerry. It is entirely too much of a responsibility for one so young.
Huh? Hey, how old do you think you are?
I know that I am right. It is not wise for us to remain here.
Well, we'll be the judges of that, Joan.
Well, Mrs. Gregory, I'm not trying to be rude, and I know that you're trying to do what you think is best for Joan and me. But we could be a lot of good to you. And if you leave us behind, well, we'll get a boat of our own and come down there anyway.
Steady, Jerry.
Jerry is correct. He does not mean to be disrespectful to either of you. But our place is with your expedition. And with your permission, or without it, we will return to Euclidia.
Joan, dear, do you realize what you're saying?
Oh, sure she does, Mrs. Gregory. We'll do anything you say. And we don't mean to be arguing with older people. But I'm going back to that magic island if I have to walk back.
14 years ago, Joan Gregory was lost in a shipwreck in the South Pacific Ocean. And 14 years her mother spent searching for her the world over. When Joan was found on the magic island, a strange place which the scientists living there have named Euclidia, it seemed that Mrs. Gregory's troubles were at an end. Now, however, we find that this is not the case, as the island of Euclidia contains so many powerful and unusual scientific devices and discoveries that it must be captured and its knowledge turned over to the world at large. Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford have decided to return to the island and take it over, using the captain's formula for the universal solvent as a weapon. Jerry and Joan are not to be taken along, and we'll see what Jerry and Joan think of that idea as we find them sitting on a bench on the corner of Hollywood and Vine in Hollywood.
Well, Joan, what do you think of it?
What do I think of what?
Oh, Hollywood.
It is very nice.
Is that all?
What did you expect me to say?
Oh, that it was swell and the greatest place you ever saw, and all that kind of talk.
I could not well say that, Jerry.
Well, why not?
How could I compare Hollywood with other places when it is the only place, except for Euclidia, that I have ever seen?
Yeah, I guess that's right.
Of course it is right.
Well, even if you can't tell whether it's better than any other place, you know if you like it or not, don't you?
I have said I liked it very much.
Yeah, you sound like it.
Jerry, you are a very strange person.
Huh?
You expect everyone to become wildly enthusiastic about anything you show them. Perhaps I am not as greatly impressed as you would wish.
Well, you ought to be. Look at all the automobiles scooting around here. What about that? You didn't have any cars on Euclidia.
We had no need for them. However, if the Euclidians were in charge of these passageways...
Hey, wait a minute. These things are streets, not passageways.
Very well, streets. If the Euclidians were in charge of these streets, there would be some semblance of order maintained. The manner in which various vehicles dash around each other is very poorly controlled.
Okay. Nobody likes the traffic any better than you do, but nobody's been able to figure out how to handle it any other way.
I believe I could suggest a plan.
You could?
Certainly.
Well, if you can do that, you'll find the police will give you a medal.
That does not sound correct.
Why? What's wrong with that?
A moment ago, you showed me a police officer arresting a man.
Well, yeah, sure. They arrest you if you do something wrong, but they can be mighty nice to you if you do something right, too.
I wonder if I will ever understand this strange country.
This strange country? After living on that crazy island, you think this country is strange?
On Euclidia, everything was well ordered, regular, and perfectly controlled. While here, everyone seems to be doing much as they please.
Well, why not? This is a free country.
But everything is so carelessly done.
What's wrong now?
That lunch we had.
Oh, lunch? What was the matter with it?
We ate it without the slightest regard for what our previous meal had been. You made no attempt to note the quantity we consumed, and at least 2 of the ingredients of the meal duplicated items included in our breakfast this morning.
What's the difference how much we had or what it was? We had a good lunch, didn't we?
It was excellent.
Okay, then forget about what we had yesterday or what we're going to eat tomorrow. And you can forget all the rest of that sort of stuff you learned on that island, too.
Do you not consider my Euclidean training of value?
Oh, sure. When there's something scientific to be figured out, I guess you might come in handy. But when it comes to getting along with the rest of the folks around town, you won't do so good if you keep trying to fix everything you see the way they do it on the Magic Isle.
I'm merely trying to help.
Well, all right. But if you keep on telling everybody you meet how they ought to do things, you're going to help yourself to a lot of trouble.
What have I done that is so terrible?
Well, what did you say to that traffic cop?
Cop?
Well, officer then. Well, what did you say to him?
I merely tried to explain to him that his method of procedure was quite wrong.
Yeah, that's all you did. Just told the cop how to run a street corner.
Jerry, you must admit there was logic in my contention. If the officer would sound his whistle before a motorist did something wrong, would it not be better than waiting until after the fault was committed?
Oh, sure, swell. But how are you going to know that a man will break a traffic rule until you see him do it?
If the whistle was sounded continuously as a warning to all motorists, there would be no violations of rules.
And how long do you suppose people would stand for a cop standing on a corner blowing a whistle all the time?
The people would not like it.
Of course they wouldn't like it. You can't make a racket like that in the middle of a street and keep it up.
Perhaps I do not fully understand how things must be done here.
You don't. And if you don't want to get in bed with everybody you meet, you'd better let things alone.
I'm sorry if you are angry with me, Jerry.
Oh, I'm not angry. I just don't like to see you being such a sap all the time.
A sap? What is a sap?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's only slang, and you don't like slang.
No, I do not like slang. It is so much easier to express oneself in English.
But slang is English.
Slang is no language. It was originated and has been furthered and added to by people who are too lazy to learn the collection of expressive modifying words which would allow greater expression than the weirdest slang phrases.
All right, I'm lazy.
Agreed.
Well, just the same, I know how to get along in this country. And if you want to do what I do, you'll get along better.
I am willing to do as you tell me, Jerry.
Well, okay. Now, we're going to see a picture show. And while we're in there, you mustn't make a sound. Don't say a word while the show is on.
Is not the picture show merely the projection of images from a celluloid strip of sensitized materials known to you as film?
That's it. And you can hear them talk, too, just like the stage.
Jerry, I do not enjoy correcting your misleading statements, but motion pictures cannot be like the stage. The characters in the picture are not actually alive.
Look, I don't mean to start a war over this. I just told you not to talk in the show.
But, Jerry, what will be the harm if I do speak in the show?
Well, people around you won't like it. They pay their money to listen to the actors. And if you've got any questions to answer them, well, wait till the show's over.
Very well.
Hey, what's that extra about?
What is an extra?
Oh, something special in the paper. Big news of some kind.
News of what?
Well, how do I know till I see the paper? Hey, didn't he say something about 2 submarines?
Jerry, those 2 Euclidean submarines.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Hey, extra! Come over here, will you?
Coming right up, buddy. Read all about it. They're fishing up submarines in our harbor now. There you are.
All right.
What does it say, Jerry?
They found them all right.
May I see the paper?
Oh, sure, take a look.
2 strange submarines believed to be anchored in outer channel.
Yes, sir. That's them. They found them all right.
I am not sure. It says believed to be.
Well, pretty soon that means for sure. We know they're out there, and everybody else will know it soon.
But, Jerry, how could they see those 2 submarines in 6 fathoms of water?
How do you know they were in 6 fathoms of water?
That is how we left them.
Oh, sure. And that was the night before last at midnight.
Of course, it is possible that the submarine which was following us has been released from the magnetic bombs I placed near it.
Well, I'd say it was pretty sure they'd been free before this.
Then that submarine would not be found by anyone.
Why not?
The commander would either return to Euclidia, or if G-47 ordered the vessel to aid Thales in his work locally, they would remain well hidden.
Maybe you're right about that. But how about the submarine we were in?
That would remain perfectly stationary in the position at which we stabilized it.
Well, that's your idea of it. Now, here's mine. This paper says 2 strange submarines were seen in the outer channel. And they don't get out extras about things like that unless they're pretty sure what they're talking about.
But 2 submarines could not have been seen.
But 2 submarines were seen.
Can you explain how that could be possible?
I think I can. Now, listen to this. That submarine that was following us might have had to come up to the surface for a supply of air. And if they had to use all their air getting out of the spot we left them in. That right?
Such a thing is barely possible, though not probable.
Well, anything is probably possible with a problem. Oh, well, anything can happen with those Euclideans are concerned.
Granted.
Then if they had to pick up that outer sub, the one we escaped from, and if they were towing it with their electromagnets, wouldn't they bring their tow to the surface when they came up?
Jerry, you may be right.
Well, sure I'm right.
But why would the Euclideans do such a foolish thing as to come to the surface in the daylight?
Maybe they were having so much trouble with their boats that they didn't have any chance to stay underwater. Anyhow, they've been seen, and we'd better get right over to your mother's house and tell her and the captain.
But we were going to a moving picture show.
Well, golly whiskers, a picture show. Here, we've got the whole country excited over a couple of Euclidean submarines in the Los Angeles harbor, and you want to go to a picture show.
I have seen many Euclidean submarines, and never have I seen one of your moving pictures.
Well, you can see one some other time. We're going to your mother's and tell them all about this.
Will these extras, as you call them, not be available at Mother's house?
Well, not as quickly as we get them here at the corner of Hollywood and Vine. So I'll bet Johnson has heard it over the radio.
I beg your pardon, young man.
Huh? Oh, did you speak to me, sir?
Yes, I'm sorry to bother you, but as you can see, I am blind.
Yeah.
I wonder if you would do something for me.
Well, I haven't got very much, mister, but...
No, not that. I am not begging. That is, not begging for money. All I ask from you is a little information.
Oh, sure. What do you want to know?
I believe I heard a paper boy crying an extra.
Yeah, he's just up the street a little ways.
Perhaps you could call him for this gentleman, Jerry.
Well, I can try whistling.
No, young man. That would do no good. I could not read the paper after you secured it for me.
Oh, that's right.
I thought you might be willing to read me a few lines from your paper. Just the headlines, or tell me something of what the news is.
We can do that easily.
Oh, sure. It says they found 2 strange-looking submarines in the Catalina Island Channel.
2 strange submarines? From what country?
Well, that's what makes them so strange. They're not like any subs owned by any country in the world.
And what further news of them?
That's all. Maybe there'll be more out later.
Quite possibly. Thank you, young man. And you, young lady, perhaps I may help you when we meet again.
Say, there was something funny about that guy.
Yes, Jerry. That man will be very dangerous to us.
Well, how do you know?
He was not blind.
Not blind?
No, I was watching his eyes as I stood where I could see behind those glasses he wore. He was reading every word on the front page of your newspaper while you talked to him. And I have seen those eyes before this.
You what?
I have seen those eyes on the island of Euclidia. That man is Thales.
Thales? The Euclidean scientist who put Johnson's radio out of commission?
Same. Thales is watching us.
Oh, gee whiz. We'd better beat it right home and tell the captain and your mother. Oh, why'd I let him walk away?
You could not be expected to know him. You only heard his voice over the radio, and he was carefully disguising it then.
Now, step into the incredible, amazing future as we go exploring tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell, Jr.
Hate and love are really quite close to each other. Usually hate stems from a misunderstanding of something which, properly understood, would make love. One of the concepts that many people don't see, miss, just get all wrong, is the fact that there is superiority and there is inferiority. But those things are specialized and narrowed into special areas. If you don't recognize them, the system won't work at all. If you do recognize them, well, you know, each must then recognize 2 things: that he is superior and that he's inferior. This is a story of a man who hadn't learned, hadn't found out the importance of special superiority and special inferiority.
Phil, are you ready for a drink?
My name is not Philip. My name is Senga.
What?
Nothing.
You'd better drink this.
Thanks.
To our last night on Earth for some time to come. Or better yet, to this house where I was born. To the green mountains and jungles we've loved and hunted in. To all this we leave behind.
I was looking at her.
Yes, she's beautiful. The brightest planet of them all.
She's dark and she's ugly.
Not from this distance.
From here, no. But she's ugly.
The ancients didn't think so when they named her Venus.
They never got there.
No. But you did. You've been there.
So will you. Tomorrow you'll be on your way. We both will.
Sen, you've never talked much about the place.
I told you it's hot. Very hot.
Animals?
A great many. But I saw only a few. You mostly only hear them. Once I wanted to go hunting. Your father said no. He couldn't forget I was Indian.
You and I have hunted here, so don't talk rot.
Your father never approved. All right, he picked me up in the mountains here when I was 4 years old. He brought me to this house. Now I am 32 with 28 years of education and civilization behind me, but I am still Indian. All right, Guido. Tell me I have a complex.
No. But ever since you came back from Venus, you've had a chip on your shoulder. Now, come on, fella. You and I grew up like brothers. There's no difference between us.
Isn't there?
And you're a first-rate space pilot, as good as my father was.
As good as you, too?
Just as good. After all, you brought the ship back to Earth alone. Oh, almost alone, anyway. You had my father's body with you. He was a great man, son. The greatest space explorer of this age.
Yes, he was a great man.
At least it was you who shared his last minutes. You he chose to go with him on that trip. He thought quite a lot of you.
It was not a matter of choice that he took me along.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. I've said more than I intended.
I have a right to know, Phil.
Yes. When we get there, let's call it a night. We blast off at dawn. We need sleep. Green light.
Blast off.
Coffee?
Thanks, I can use a cup.
250,000 miles out in space before morning coffee. Not bad, eh?
Phil.
Yes?
But my father was not the first man to land on Venus. But no one else, so far as we know, found diamonds there.
No one else ever went to the right area. Besides, you use the word diamond in the plural sense. The singular would be more correct. The peak of this mountain is one solid diamond, pushed up there from the interior by volcanic action. A slab of diamond that must weigh 7,000 tons.
If it's true, then diamonds back home will become absolutely worthless.
Not immediately. And what happens later will not concern us.
Why didn't you bring back a sample?
There were many reasons. You'll understand when you get there.
There's a lot you haven't told me.
A great deal, yes, but it can wait. Let's play some chess.
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
All of us, as American citizens, believe in our inherent liberties and freedoms, such as the freedom of association, assembly, and action. But if you will read the First Amendment to the Constitution, you will notice that it is worded, Congress shall make no law abridging the right of the people peaceably to assemble. Whatever the association, assembly, or action, it must be accomplished peaceably. We are given the right to petition, for example, but that right cannot be used to bring malice upon others. We must assume the responsibility for the purposes and actions of associations and assemblies. And if we accept that responsibility, we ensure our freedom.
When a kid grows up, at a certain period of life, he stops being a child, and yet he is not yet a man. He's an adolescent, somewhere in between. This is one of the most critical areas of development. This is where we have our juvenile delinquents starting, becoming what they are. The juvenile delinquent is an adolescent gone wrong and misunderstanding. An adolescent is in the problem of inferiority and superiority. He's inferior to his parents. And it's a general inferiority because the parents have greater experience, greater understanding, greater wisdom, simply by the sheer accumulation of understanding of problems they've had to solve and experience themselves.
We have to walk about a quarter of a mile through the jungle. Then we start to climb. What? What's the matter?
Maybe hallucination.
You saw something?
No, someone.
Oh?
A man, half naked, a savage. You saw him, too.
Yes. I glimpsed him.
There are people here.
That's right.
You told the newspapers you saw no sign of people.
I didn't feel like telling the newspapers all I saw any more than your father did after his first trip here. Oh, yes, Guido. He knew about these people. He never told anyone.
They're human, like us.
Descendants from a group of people who came here from Earth millions of years ago. People more advanced in science than we are today. Only through the years they lost their knowledge, reverted to the jungle. At least, that was your father's theory.
Are they hostile?
I'm not sure.
They've seen the ship before, of course.
Yes, they've seen it before. They know we come out of space.
It's fantastic. Descendants of Earth people. It's as fantastic as your Diamond Mountain.
The Diamond Mountain is very real. Come. We have a long walk.
How far up are we?
About 1,000 feet above ground level, I'd say.
The air's thin. Shouldn't be this thin at only 1,000 feet.
Nevertheless, it is.
I can hardly breathe.
It won't get much worse. Stick it out.
We should have brought oxygen masks.
It's too hot. They'd be impractical.
That's right. Maybe it's the heat, not so much the thin air. I feel as though I'm being scorched up.
Save your breath. Come on.
Right.
Come on.
Oh, we still got to climb. That's right. I feel like I can't go much further.
Try.
I can't. Oh. Sorry, Phil.
You did better than I thought, as a matter of fact. Much better than your father.
What?
He collapsed about 100 yards further back, but of course he was much older. Don't look so shocked.
I don't understand.
It is simple to understand. This is the place where I discovered I am not of an inferior race. Here in this place I was your father's superior. Now I am your superior. I can live where you can die, where he died.
You let him die?
No, I didn't want him to die. I wanted to enjoy my sense of superiority. I carried him back, but it was too late. He was too weakened.
I can't think properly.
But I can. Your father wanted you to come here for the diamond. It was an easy promise for me to give him. I wanted to bring you here. I wanted to realize my superiority.
It's crazy kind of talk. That's crazy. You're like my brother. He was like your father.
Oh, no. He was the great Paulo Santos. Perhaps the greatest explorer and ship designer of his day. He built our ship. He was the scientist supreme, superior man. And you're his natural son. Guido, look up there. I said look up there. You can see the diamond peak.
Some kind of rock. Crystal rock.
No, pure diamond. I have been up there. I chipped a piece off. I brought it back here to your father. He knew it was diamond. He lived just long enough to confirm that. I can reach the diamond, you see. But you can't. No one of your race could, but I can.
I've got to get to lower ground.
Not without my help. See, you're too weak to move. You must depend on me.
You're crazy.
Oh, no. I won't let you die. But I'll take away your sidearms. I can't have you armed. How does it feel, Guido?
Feel?
About superior man suddenly confronted by superiority of an inferior race.
I've got to get to lower ground.
A situation that reflects the law of the universe, Guido. Your father was always talking about that. Well, I don't want you to die. I want you to live so that you can serve me. I get you to lower ground.
You know, hate has a very real place in life. We need it. Man is unique among the living things on this planet in that he does have hate. Man hated the wolf. He hated the cave bear. He eliminated those species that were just not tolerable. Hate has a good side. Hate has a place. The difficulty is when the hate is misplaced, when it is generalized and not specialized to the point where it belongs, to the thing that is really wrong. I'm afraid Phil misunderstood and had his hate directed in the wrong direction. It wasn't a race he hated. He just thought he did. What he hated was to have someone who was older and wiser than he himself. And now he had misplaced it to another guy who was trying to do a good job with him.
You won't have any use for sidearms, so don't try to get them back. If you do, I'll kill you.
What do you have in mind?
I have a plan, but I'll need to have the help of the people here. You can't reach the diamond, but I can, and so can they. Our job is to get them to carry the drilling equipment up that hill so that I can start chipping the diamond.
You think they'll work for you?
They're afraid of me. After your father died, they attacked, and I had to kill some of them with a blaster. That's why they don't show themselves now. It may take a little while, but I've got to make them understand that they must do what I want.
Suppose you succeed.
Well, when I leave here, I'll take away enough diamond to convert into enough cash that will make me just about the richest man on earth. Once I've done that...
What about me?
You?
Won't I be an obstacle?
No.
You'll do away with me.
Not here. I'll wait until we're out in space.
Just like that?
I'm afraid so. It's funny, isn't it?
Oh, yes. You identify yourself with what you call an inferior race and resent the people who made you our intellectual equal.
Human nature. I should feel grateful instead, eh? Is that it?
You've been shown nothing but kindness. Gratitude wouldn't be out of place.
If you only knew how I hated that word.
I know. Some people do. It makes them squirm. They cry for help, they get it, and they hate you for it.
I didn't cry for help.
Yes. You were a child of 4, abandoned in the jungle. You were crying when my father found you. You'd have died or been killed by some animal. Or survived and just been a savage.
Now it's coming out. Everything you and your father felt about me.
I'm sorry for you, Phil.
You sorry for me. I hold the reins.
No. History is full of people like you. The little upstarts with a lust for power and hatred. You never last long. The law of the universe never tolerates you.
Law of the universe. You sound like your father.
That's nice to know, Phil. By the way, we're being watched.
I know that.
You'd better let me have my side on it.
Not a chance.
You said these people were scared.
They are.
Not scared enough. That's another law of the universe and a lesson from history. People are never too scared to resist an invader. And we're invaders.
They won't resist if I turn this blaster on them again.
The ones you kill won't.
I don't want to kill them. I want to talk to them.
In what language?
Sign language. What else?
You can try.
It may take weeks or months.
Well, what happens in the meantime?
We'll go back to the ship. There's open space there. Sooner or later, a few of them will approach us. Then I'll try to talk to them.
Then we better start down, unless we're surrounded.
I'll blast our way through if there's trouble. Come on. Keep ahead of me where I can see you. No trouble. You see?
I'm sure I spotted a couple.
Shadows. All right. We're about a quarter of a mile from the ship. Come on. Keep in front. Get down. A slingshot. Piece of rock.
Yes, it hit this tree instead of one of us.
Piece of rock. Here it is.
A diamond the size of a small egg.
Diamonds for ammunition. This planet must be crawling with diamonds. Keep down. I blast from the kingdom come.
I'll bet we're the first ones in history to be stoned with diamonds. Better pick them up.
You pick them up. If I could just see what those savages are.
They're not too close. We can't stay here. Come on before they close in from all sides. You may not have time to shoot in all directions.
All right. We push on.
I've got a feeling they see us.
The ship is pretty close now. We got away.
I had to use a gun once. Better keep quiet. You have a nasty cut on your head. We're going back to report to the World Council. Every country in the world has a stake in this matter. The council will decide what to do about the diamonds, not us.
Why didn't you leave me there? To them.
Let's say two basic laws came into conflict. The law of the universe decreed your death. You're alive only because of the basic law of civilized human nature, compassion. You've still got to learn that, Phil. Nothing will change that.
You can make yourself and a lot of other people around you mighty unhappy if you try to have all values and be able to do everything. Consider yourself tops of anything around. None of us has that ability. We can't do it all. But each of us has his own special talents, his own individual abilities. And for these, every one of us is valued. And every one of us needs every other one for that special individual talent. No individual is everything. The other guy's got something you need.
Heard in our cast tonight were Mason Adams and Donald Bucher. The script was by John Fleming. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York. This is Guy Wallace speaking.
We pause now for station identification.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. As you remember, a strange series of mysterious accidents have been plaguing the Bar O Dude Ranch, not the least of which was an attempt made on the lives of Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Someone is evidently trying to gain possession of the Bar O by frightening the owner, Steve Graham, into selling. Kent suspects there is something of great value in an abandoned gold mine on the Bar O property, and as our story continues today, he has driven into town to analyze a sample of ore taken from the mine. Meanwhile, Jimmy Olsen and Alfredo, the South American gaucho employed at the Dude Ranch, are riding toward a deserted cabin some distance from the Bar O. Alfredo is insisting that they stop at the cabin. Listen.
Come, Jimmy. We go to the cabin.
Oh, no, Alfredo. I'd better get back to the ranch. Mr. Kent and Miss Lane will be worried about me.
Nobody will worry when they know you are with Alfredo. Besides, you are hungry, no?
Yes, but I...
Then it is settled. We stop at the cabin and I fix for us food fit for gaucho.
Okay, Alfredo. You win.
That is good. Here we are. We tie up the horses to this tree.
Okay.
So, now. Come, I unlock the door. Come in, Jimmy. How you like this cabin, eh?
Oh, gee, it's swell. Oh, but I don't see any stove. Where are you going to do the cooking?
You think I gotta cook without stove, eh? The fireplace, that is all I need. Oh, I show you. But first I must light the lamp and get dark. That is better, no?
Wait. Did you hear that, Alfredo?
What? I hear nothing.
I thought I heard footsteps.
Or maybe my horse. Blanco does not like to be tied up.
Oh, I thought...
You won't like it much either, Alfredo.
Huh? Shorty, what is this? What are you doing here?
Alfredo, he's got a gun.
Yeah, and it's loaded, too. None of that, Alfredo. Get your hands up. You too, kid.
Shorty, you go loco. Why you hold us off?
Never mind why. Just keep your hands up. And turn around, both of you.
What are you going to do?
You'll find out soon enough. Walk over to the bed, Gaucho.
I do not take orders from you.
You'll take orders, all right. This 6 gun's a mighty good convincer.
You can't get away with this. Mr. Kendall...
Button your lip, kid. Come over here, Alfredo. Now, lie down on the bed. Face down. Yeah. And keep them hands behind you.
One day I will get my fingers around your throat, Shorty.
Save your breath, tough guy. Come here, kid. Here, take this rope and tie his wrist tight.
I won't do it. You can't
Be smart, kid, and do like I tell you. Go on.
Do like you say, Jimmy. I do not mind.
No. You'll go to jail for this.
Shut up, Squirt. Now, pull that knot tight. That's it. Take a couple of loops around his ankles. Go on. Okay. Now, tie both ends to the bed. Now, I guess that'll hold you, Gaucho.
I swear I get you for this someday, Shorty.
Shut up. Now it's your turn, kid. Sit down in that chair.
What for?
Don't ask foolish questions. Sit down. That's better. Now hold your hands behind you. Behind you, I said. That's it. Now we'll fasten you down to the seat. Like that.
No.
Tie your legs together. Yeah. They're all set. I'll leave you now, and maybe in a couple of days, somebody will come around and let you loose.
A couple of days? Are you going to...
Shorty, I give you one more chance. Let us go now, and I will forget all about this. I will not hurt you.
You won't hurt me. That's a hot one. I gotta hand it to you, Alfredo. You got a real sense of humor. Well, so long. I'll be seeing you. And nobody gonna find them for a while. Come on, Rex. Get up.
Hello, Lord.
Clark. Oh, Clark, I'm so glad you're back. Jimmy and Alfredo haven't returned yet.
You haven't?
No.
Funny. Has that ranch hand returned? The one Blaine sent out to look for Jimmy?
You mean Shorty?
Yeah.
No, he hasn't come back either. Oh, if anything happens to Jimmy, I'll never forgive myself.
Take it easy, Lois.
I never should have left him alone.
Wait a minute. There's somebody riding in now. Maybe it... Yes, it is. That's Shorty.
He's alone, Clark. I'm worried.
Hey, Shorty, did you find them?
Fine.
Did you find Jimmy and Alfredo?
No. Picked up their trail all right, but then I lost it.
Which way were they headed?
Down towards the creek.
We've got to do something. Organize a searching party.
We gotta get started at once.
Pretty tough searching around here at night, mister. You'd best wait till morning.
Until morning? Good heavens.
Ridiculous. We're going out tonight. Let's get hold of Graham and Blaine and have them round up some of the men.
Well, whenever you're ready, you'll find me in the bunkhouse. But I think you're making a mistake. Get him.
Clark, what'll we do?
Come on. Let's find Blaine or Graham.
Mr. Kent.
There's Mr. Graham now.
Where he's been all day.
Oh, Mr. Kent, I've been looking for you.
We were just going to look for you.
Mr. Graham, you've got to help us.
Oh, what's the matter, Miss Lane?
Jimmy's disappeared.
Disappeared? Well, what do you mean?
Early this afternoon, he went riding with Alfredo, and they haven't come back yet.
Alfredo won't let anything happen to him. They'll be along soon.
Oh, I'm not so sure.
Well, why do you say that, Mr. Kent?
Mr. Graham, we suspect Alfredo of being responsible for all the accidents that have happened.
Yes, and we have reason to believe Alfredo tried to kill us this morning.
You mean that cave-in at the mine?
Yes.
How do you know about it?
Blaine just told me. I warned you about those beams. Sooner or later, they were bound to go.
This beam didn't just go. Someone caused that cave-in by pulling it down with a rope. And we found rope marks on the pommel of Alfredo's saddle. Just the sort of marks that would have been made if he'd used his horse to do the pulling.
Are you certain of that?
Of course we are.
Yes, and when Mr. Kent started to question the gaucho, he became angry and rode away. He even threatened us.
All right, then. We'll get some of the boys, ride down, and see if we can pick up the trail where Shorty lost it.
I'd feel better if we did.
Very well. Let's go over to the ranch house with some flashlights. I'll send somebody out to round up the boys.
You think we'll be able to pick up the trail in the dark, Mr. Graham?
I doubt it, Miss Lane. But we'll fan out, cover as much ground as possible. We'll do everything we can. Watch this top step, Miss Lane. It's a little shaky. A loose ball.
Thanks. Oh, look, there's an envelope stuck in the door.
So there is. Wait, I'll open the door. That fell. I'll get it. It's addressed to you, Kent.
To me? Oh, thanks. That's funny.
What is it, Clark?
I don't know.
Well, open it. Hurry up.
Well, now we know what happened.
What did it say?
Listen to this. Clark Kent, I got the kid. Get away from the Bar O and he'll be all right. After 2 days, if you keep out of things that ain't your business, I'll let the kid go. It's not signed.
Someone's keeping Jimmy prisoner. It must be the gaucho.
No, that note doesn't sound like Alfredo.
Wait a minute. It says stay away for 2 days.
Well, what does that mean?
2 days, don't you remember? Yesterday, the sheriff said we'd have to clean up the case in 3 days, or he'd close the road to this ranch to avoid further accidents caused by the ghost car.
You're right, Clark. That means whoever's holding Jimmy is responsible for the ghost car accident. What are we going to do?
There's just one thing to do, Miss Lane. You and Mr. Kent must leave the Bar O.
Mr. Graham's right, Clark. We can't risk endangering Jimmy's life.
Sorry, but I can't agree with you. If I follow the instructions in this note, I'll be doing just what some criminal wants me to do. And I'm not going to play his game.
For goodness sake, let's not waste time talking. Let's do something.
Graham, you go over and round up a posse. Miss Lane and I will get the flashlights.
Whatever you say, Kent. You'll find them right back at the clerk's desk. I'll drive over to the bunkhouse in my car. It'll be faster.
Good.
I'll meet you back here in 10 minutes.
All right. Step on it, will you?
While Clark Kent is organizing a searching party, Jimmy and Alfredo are helplessly trussed up in the deserted cabin where Shorty left them. As we join them, Alfredo is struggling valiantly to free himself from the ropes that bind him to the bed.
Jimmy, you do a good job when you tie me to this bed.
Gosh, I'm sorry, Alfredo. I couldn't help it.
I know, Jimmy, I know. There. She sleep a little.
Oh, that's swell. But even if you get off the bed, what good will that do? Your hands and feet will still be tied.
You will see what I do then. Now, a little twist, and I am free at least from the bed. Now watch, Jimmy. I wiggle off to the floor. There.
Good work.
Now I get up on this table.
What are you going to do on the table, Alfredo?
With this lamp, I can burn the ropes off my hands.
Oh, that's a swell idea. Say, maybe we'll get out of here after all.
What is this, maybe? Of course we get out of here. But I must take the chimney from the lamp.
Oh, be careful, Alfredo. You're pushing the lamp near the edge of the table.
Lambre keeps sleeping.
Look out. Look out, you'll dump it over.
Oh, he falls.
Look, the floor's on fire. Get away, Alfredo. You'll be burned.
I must stamp it out.
You can't do it, Alfredo. Get away from there. You'll be burned to death.
You're right. It's too hot.
Alfredo, we're trapped. Help! Help!
Fed by kerosene from the overturned lamp, the roaring blaze eats its way across the dry wooden floor of the cabin, coming closer and closer to Jimmy and Alfredo. Caught in the fire trap, there seems to be no escape. What will happen? Don't miss the concluding episode of this exciting mystery if you want to know who was responsible for the ghost car. Tune in and follow the exciting story with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
A bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. In an effort to clear up the mystery of the ghost car, a phantom automobile responsible for a number of accidents on the road to the Bar O Dude Ranch, Clark Kent and Lois Lane have been tracking down every possible clue. It is Kent's belief that someone is trying to frighten Steve Graham, owner of the ranch, into selling, hoping to gain possession of the property. But why? Is there anything of value on the ranch? Is it something in the abandoned gold mine? Kent isn't quite sure, but has taken the precaution of sending a sample of the ore for analysis. In the meantime, young Jimmy Olsen and Alfredo, a gaucho employed on the Dude Ranch, are bound hand and foot in a deserted cabin in the hills. Attempting to burn through the rope tied around his wrists, Alfredo has backed up to a kerosene lamp on a table. And suddenly, the lamp crashes to the floor. Oil-fed flames leap high as Jimmy and Alfredo, helpless, look on in terror. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, Kent and Lois are waiting for a searching party to be organized.
Clark, what's keeping Mr. Graham? We'll never pick up Jimmy's trail unless we get started. Why can't you and I go on alone?
We don't know this country, Lois. Say, what's that red glow in the sky?
Where?
Beyond that hill, see?
Oh, yes, I see. It's probably the moon coming up.
I don't think so. It's flickering.
Maybe it's a brush fire. Where on earth is Mr. Graham?
I'll be back in a minute, Lois. I've got to get something in the ranch house.
Clark, wait a minute.
I'll be right back. I don't think anyone can see me behind this barn. Good thing it's dark. I have an idea that's a campfire up in the hills, and if it is, it deserves investigation.
As Superman. Up, and away!
Leaping into the darkness, Superman streaks for the telltale orange glow on the horizon, wheels above it in strange flight.
It's the cabin on fire. Wait. I hear someone crying for help. Yeah. Someone's trapped in that cabin. Down. There. Not much time left. Burning like tinder. Door's locked. Have to crash through. What? Great Scott. Jimmy and Alfredo, unconscious on the floor. Another few seconds, it would have been too late. I've got them. Now to carry them through that wall of flame. Here goes. There we are. I don't think either of them have been burned. Smoke got them more than anything else.
Jimmy. Alfredo's coming through. I better assume my role of Clark Kent.
I bought a rope walk, Jimmy. I get us out.
Take it easy, Alfredo.
Senor Kent, where do you come from? Where is Jimmy? The fire.
Jimmy's all right, Alfredo. Smoke knocked him out, that's all, but he's coming around. Jimmy, it's Mr. Kent.
What happened? What?
I saw the fire, Jimmy. I broke in and pulled you both out.
Mr. Kent. Gosh, I thought we were gone.
Well, you had a narrow escape. Who tied you up, Jimmy?
Shorty, one of the ranch hands.
Shorty? Why, of all the... We've got to get back to the ranch before he gets away. Think you're ready to ride, you two?
Oh, sure, Mr. Kent. I feel fine now.
How about you, Alfredo?
I ride fast like the wind.
All right, come on, then. Good thing you tied up your horses, or they wouldn't be here now. Jimmy, you'll have to share the saddle with me.
Okay.
All right, up you go. Yeah. All set, Alfredo?
Si, senor.
All right. Hope Shorty's still at the ranch.
Wherever he goes, senor, I chase him until I catch him.
Yes, Mr. Graham, it was Shorty who locked Jimmy and the gaucho in the burning cabin.
Well, no wonder he cleared out so fast. But don't worry, the state police will get him.
Well, then, I guess our job here is finished, and we can get on back to Metropolis.
Mr. Kent, I'll never be able to thank you for what you've done.
Oh, not at all. Glad to be of service. And now, if we hurry, we can just make the last train out. May I borrow a car to drive to town, Mr. Graham? One of your men could pick it up in the morning.
Oh, let me drive you down, Kent.
Thanks, Blaine, but I don't want to trouble you. I can manage.
Well, if you insist, my car's right here. You're welcome to use it.
Thanks. All right, come on, Lois and Jimmy.
Okay.
In you go. There we are. That's it. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Many thanks, Mr. Kent. Come back and pay us a visit soon, all of you.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Well, we certainly cleared that up fast, didn't we?
Did we, Lois?
No, you can't say that I didn't help.
Oh, of course you did, Lois. But we haven't quite solved the mystery yet.
What do you mean?
I mean that Shorty was only a tool, an accomplice of the man behind the ghost car. Who that man is, the brains, we still don't know.
Well, if the mystery of the borrow isn't solved, why did you tell everyone at the ranch that it was?
Yeah, and why are we going back to town then, Mr. Kent?
We're setting a trap.
A trap? What kind of a trap?
As soon as we get into town, I'm going to phone the ranch. Tell them I've just met a wealthy man from the city who's on his way up to the Bar O. Let's call him, well, Orville Winston. He wants to buy the ranch. I'll say I'm turning over Graham's car to Winston so he can drive up himself.
And what's behind all this flim flam?
Very simple. Everyone at the ranch will hear about this new buyer, this Mr. Winston, and the man, the real man behind the accidents, will hear about it too. Naturally, he still wants to get the Bar O for himself, and when he hears the prospective buyer is on the way up, he'll try to frighten him away.
But how?
He'll arrange for our mythical Mr. Winston to meet the ghost car on his way up to the Bar O.
Mr. Winston, who doesn't exist, will meet a car that doesn't exist. Are you joking, Clark?
No, not at all. I will be Mr. Winston, the would-be buyer of the Bar O, and I'll be driving Graham's car back to the ranch. Then, when I see the ghost car heading at me, instead of turning off, I'll keep right on riding, straight at it.
Don't be a fool, Clark.
It's awfully dangerous, Mr. Kent.
No, don't you worry. After all, we all know there can't be ghost cars. If this doesn't work, nothing will.
Number, please.
The Bar O Dude Ranch. I think the number 625.
One moment, please.
Bar O Ranch.
Oh, hello. This is Clark Kent.
Oh, yes, Mr. Kent. This is Blaine speaking.
Oh, hello, Blaine.
Didn't run into any trouble, did you?
Oh, no. I'm calling from the station. There's a man down here who wants to get to the ranch. His name is Orville Winston.
Oh. Are you a guest?
No, I don't think so. He said something about wanting to buy the ranch from Mr. Graham.
Oh, I see.
I thought it might be a good idea to let him bring Mr. Graham's car back. What do you think?
Sounds all right to me. Does he drive?
Yes, and it'll save you a trip in the morning.
Oh, sounds like a good idea. I'll tell Mr. Graham.
Well, thanks very much, Blaine. Goodbye.
Bye, Mr. Kent.
Well?
Lois, you and Jimmy wait here. I've no time to lose.
Clark, where are you going?
I know. He's going out to meet the ghost.
Oh, no, Clark. Clark! No, Clark!
Now to meet up with a ghost car as Superman. The tunnel's up ahead a short distance around that curve. The Phantom automobile is going to put in an appearance tonight. I'll meet it head-on in just a moment. Yes, there it is. Headlights gleaming. All right, ghost car, get ready for a crash. Someone's running across the top of the tunnel. You're not getting away this time, mister. Up.
Hey, who are you? Get out of here.
Oh, yes? There. I guess that'll take care of... Blaine. Well, so you're the man behind the ghost car, eh? Well, now to pick up Lois and Jimmy and haul this crook back to the ranch.
But I don't understand, Mr.
It was all very simple, Mr. Graham. Blaine here lowered a mirror in front of the entrance to the tunnel. Naturally, when a car came along, its own headlights were reflected in the mirror, forcing the drivers off the road for fear of crashing. All Blaine had to do was raise the mirror and carry it into the woods.
Is that true, Blaine?
I'm not talking.
He doesn't have to. The sheriff will find the remains of the mirror on the road.
Why did you do it, Blaine? Why?
I told you I'm not talking. Obviously, he wanted the ranch, Mr. Graham.
Yeah, but why? It has no particular value.
I wonder. In fact, I sent a sample of ore from your abandoned gold mine to a mineralogist in the city. I have a feeling that mine isn't as worthless as you seem to think.
Oh, that reminds me, Kent. The telegraph office phoned a message for you a few minutes after you left. I wrote it down on this slip of paper.
Oh, thanks. I thought so. This message supplies Mr. Blaine's motive. Listen. Sample submitted, rich in bauxite.
Bauxite? What's that?
I know. It's the stuff they use to make aluminum.
That's right, Jimmy. Mr. Graham, that abandoned mine is worth a fortune. You know how the government needs aluminum today. It's more precious than gold.
You mean that old mine is going to help build planes? Fighting planes?
That's exactly what I mean.
Kent, I don't know how to thank you. I'm too old to give active service to my country. But you presented me with an opportunity to really lend a hand.
Oh, don't thank me. Just get to work and put that mine in operation as fast as you can. While our ghost friend Blaine is thinking it over in prison, you can be joining in the fight for democracy.
And so another baffling mystery is solved through the cleverness of Clark Kent and the prowess of Superman. But unknown to either Kent, Lois, or Jimmy, all is not well back in Metropolis. At this very moment, Editor Perry White is frantically putting through a long-distance call, summoning Kent back. What has happened? Tune in and follow the new and thrilling story with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invite you to rocket into the future with Corbett, Space Cadet. Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Corbett, Space Cadet. The big, sprawling administration building at Luna Base is the nerve center of one of the busiest ports in the entire solar system. For here, great spaceships from Earth and the far-flung planets of the system are constantly arriving and departing. And here, in the anteroom of the commanding officer's headquarters, Cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning sit, nervously awaiting a summons into the inner office.
Tom, I wonder how much longer we'll have to wait.
Now, watch it, Roger. Here's the CO.
Cadets Corbett and Manning?
Yes, sir.
Here, sir. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm Captain Willett. Step into the office, please.
Come on, Roger.
I've got a feeling this detail's going to be a real dog. Cadets, I'd like you to meet Miss Sally Wood.
Hello.
How do you do, Miss Wood?
Great galaxy.
I beg your pardon.
A space doll covered with stardust.
What?
You'll have to excuse Cadet Manning, ma'am. A beautiful girl always sends in into a spin.
Oh, I thank you.
Manning, Corbett, if I can have your attention for just a moment.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, sir. Miss Wood is the daughter of Harvey Wood. You probably recognize the name.
You mean the famous spaceship designer, sir?
Oh, you've heard of Dad?
Oh, who hasn't? He's designed some of the best spaceships in the Solar Alliance.
Well, Miss Wood is on her way back to Earth, to Polar City. She has a large sum of money aboard her space yacht, the Cosmia, and she has requested a solar guard detail to protect her.
Captain Willett told me you cadets were detached from your ship temporarily.
That's right, Miss Wood.
Well, then, if you have no other plans.
This detail is purely voluntary on your part, boys.
You mean you're asking us if we want to escort Miss Wood, sir?
And that's about the size of it, Manning. What do you say?
I say, how soon can we raise ships, sir? that's a beautiful bracelet you're wearing, Sally. Not a present from an admirer, I hope.
Well, in a way, yes, Roger. My father gave it to me.
Well, your father. Oh, you had me worried for a minute.
This is a mighty nice ship, Miss Wood.
Oh, thanks, Tom. You can't imagine how relieved I feel to have you two aboard. I just can't thank you enough.
The only thing I'm sorry about, Sally, is that you're only going to Polar City. Why couldn't you be on your way to Titan, or maybe out to Pluto?
Pluto? That's so far away.
Yeah, I know.
Does Roger always act this way, Tom?
Oh, don't pay any attention to him. He's just a wolf in a spacesuit.
Hey, look, Tom, why don't you go up forward and guard something? Anything.
The way I see it, Miss Wood needs a guard right now.
Say, Sally, Captain Willett said something about you having a lot of money aboard. Is that the only reason you wanted us to come along?
Well, we are carrying over 1 million credits, and I'm not sure I can trust every member of the crew.
Oh, don't you worry your beautiful head about the crew. Tom and I will take care of everything.
You don't have long to worry anyhow. We're already starting to decelerate. We're getting close to Earth.
Yes, I can feel it. Funny, it never affected me quite this way before. I feel just a little dizzy.
Yeah. So do I, come to think of it.
No girl ever made me feel like this before.
Say, my head's really beginning to spin.
You suppose something could have happened to the oxygen supply?
Roger, we better check the gauges.
I can't, Tom. I can't seem to move.
Neither can I, Roger.
Tom, get up. Don't blank out now. Tom, you've got it.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by. Blast off power. That's what you get in Kellogg's Pep. Get blast off power. Start your day with hearty Kellogg's Pep. Pep gives you the kind of hard-hitting food energy you need to rock it off into a busy day. It's the cereal the cadets at Space Academy call for when there's action ahead. And Pep supplies you with essential vitamins, too. You get vitamin B1 and a whole day's supply of vitamin D in every serving. No wonder spacemen head for the breakfast table and pour out a big helping of Pep every morning. It's Kellogg's Pep for Blast Off Power. And say, just wait till you taste that keen whole wheat and malt flavor. You'll be reaching for second helpings every time. Kellogg's Pep with milk and sugar is a great way to start the day. When you fill up a bowl full and dig in, you want to travel at full space speed right through to the last bite. Astro, Roger, Tom, and all the cadets say the same thing. For swell eating and blast off food power, it's Kellogg's Pep. So start your day the spaceman's way. Ask Mom to get the cereal that gives you more builder-upper food values than any other wheat flake. Ask Mom to get Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep. Volunteering to serve as an escort for Miss Sally Wood, the pretty daughter of Harvey Wood, a noted spaceship designer, Tom and Roger blasted toward Earth in the space yacht Cosmia, carrying over 1 million credits. Nearing Earth, however, the two cadets and Sally suddenly began to feel dizzy, and one after the other collapsed to the deck, unconscious. Now, several hours later, Tom slowly begins to waken. He looks around groggily, then sits bolt upright. Seeing Roger lying next to him, he begins to shake his friend violently.
Come on, Roger. Snap out of it.
Oh, my head.
Wake up, will you?
Huh? Hey, where are we, Tom?
I don't know. I just came to myself.
Say, we're not on the ship anymore. We're in a room. Looks like a hotel room.
Well, there's a window. I'll have a look.
Well?
Roger, we're in Polar City.
How in blazes did we get here? And say, where's Sally?
I don't know. I don't remember a thing after we started to decelerate, except we all started to get dizzy.
Wait a minute. There's a facsimile paper over there in that teleceiver. Maybe we can find out what day it is, at least.
Good idea. Great jumping Jupiter.
What is it, Tom?
Oh, listen to this bulletin. Space yacht Cosmia, out of Luna Base, crashed near here this morning.
Crashed?
Yeah. According to Polar City Spaceport Traffic Control, the Cosmia reported that it was entering atmosphere and preparing for a routine landing. The space yacht failed to report again, and nothing was heard until an hour later, when the wreckage was found on the outskirts of Polar City. Investigators found all controls on automatic. Several crew members have already been identified. Still unaccounted for are Miss Sally Wood and Cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning.
Wait, Tom. Another bulletin's coming through on the teleceiver.
Yeah, maybe more about the crack-up. Read it.
Special extra. Space Cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning were reported seen in Polar City a short time after the crash of the space yacht Cosmia. The authorities believe that the space yacht may have been crashed deliberately to cover the theft of 1 million credits the ship was carrying. All law enforcement agencies are alerted to apprehend these fugitives at all costs.
But that's crazy. They've blown their jet.
They sure have. We can prove we didn't have anything to do with that crash.
Well, where's the audio phone? We've got to call the Solar Guard headquarters. Hey.
What's the matter, Tom? What are you staring at?
Roger, look over there in that corner.
Huh? By all the moons of Jupiter.
They're stolen credits. They've been planted right here in this room.
It's not all here, Tom. Only a few thousand credits.
It's enough to pin the robbery on us, Roger. This money in our possession is just as good as a conviction.
I know. We're not only thieves, but murderers. We're in one sweet jam.
We must have been gassed on board the Cosmia. Then somebody brought us to this hotel and left the credits here to make us look guilty.
Hey, you're not saying that Sally framed us.
Well, somebody did.
No, I can't believe it was Sally. If she wasn't killed in the crash, she can clear us.
She can? Well, look at this. I found it on the floor under one of the suitcases with the money in it.
Why, it's a bracelet.
Uh-huh, the one Sally was wearing on board the Cosmia.
And she was here in this room.
Let's face the facts, Roger. That girl framed us and then tipped off the authorities.
But why, Tom? It just doesn't make any sense.
Never mind that now. We've got to get out of here.
Yeah, and then what? We can't turn ourselves into the Solar Guard until we found Sally. She's the only one who can clear us.
Well, if you've got any bright ideas, spill them.
All I know is if we walk out of this hotel in our Space Cadet uniforms, the first officer we meet would either arrest us or shoot us on sight.
Well, it's a cinch we can't walk out of here in our underwear.
Well, looks like it's either the frying pan or the fire. So come on, let's try the fire.
Right. Take a look first, Roger. Make sure the hull is clear.
Don't worry.
Well?
Yeah, it's okay.
Hey, get back, quick. What's the matter? The police?
No, a break finally.
What are you talking about?
Look what's coming down the hall. The hotel valet, and he's pulling a rack of clothes with him.
Jumping Jupiter.
There are at least 4 suits hanging on it. What color do you prefer, Tom?
Oh, I don't care. I'd wear orange with purple stripes to get out of this.
You'll be wearing stripes if we don't get out of this, Buster. Quiet now. He's got bats right outside the door.
How are you going to work this?
I have long arms, pal. Just watch.
Did you get them?
Take a look, Junior. We're a couple of civilians again.
Great. Now, come on. Let's get out of this hotel.
Well, we made it.
Yeah. I think we're safe now, Roger. We can relax for a minute.
Well, where can we go, though? They'll be looking for us all over the city.
We've got to take time out and make some plans.
Tom, I hate to bring this up right now, but I'm so blasted hungry I can't think straight.
Yeah, me too. Well, come on. There's an auto restaurant on the corner. Let's go in and eat.
I guess we'll be as safe in there as any place else.
Hey, wait a minute. I just remembered. We haven't any money.
No? What do you call this?
Hey, where did you get all those credits?
I picked up a handful when we left the hotel room. Did you think we could run all over Polar City with our pockets empty?
But those credits don't belong to us.
So we borrowed them. We'll make it up from our pay if we ever get reinstated.
Well, that's a big if. But I guess we haven't any choice.
Now you're talking. Come on, let's put on the feed bag. That's what I call a real dinner.
Yeah. How about dessert, Roger?
Match. Let's see. What's Venusian surprise, I wonder?
Try it. Press the button.
Okay. Oh, how do you like that? Rice pudding. Some surprise.
Stop kicking and dig in. We've got to get rolling.
Yeah, where?
I don't know, but we've got to figure out some way to pull ourselves out of this mess. We can't duck the Solar Guard forever.
If we could only get hold of Captain Strong, he'd believe our story.
He couldn't do much for us unless we can find out how we were framed and why.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I beg your pardon, gentlemen.
Huh? What do you want?
I'm the manager of this restaurant.
Yes?
Are these your credits, gentlemen?
Well, let's see. Why, yes, we dropped those in the slot when we ordered dinner number 4.
I see. I'm sorry to have disturbed you. Excuse me.
Say, what was that all about?
Roger, we've been space-happy idiots.
Huh?
The credits. The manager must have had a list of the serial numbers. In the automatic credit register, we did ours out.
Uh-oh, let's get out of here.
There they are, officer. Table 8.
Come on, Roger. He's brought the solar guard.
Let them get away.
We're cut off from the front, Tom.
Through this back door. Hurry. This street's clear, Roger.
Thank Jupiter. I was about ready to give up.
Well, this settles it. We've got to get out of Polar City.
Good idea. But how?
We'll work our way over to the spaceport. Maybe we can stow away on a southbound jet.
Okay, Tom, it's worth a try. If we stay here, we'll get the work. There goes a jet, Tom. I sure wish we were on it.
So do I. We've got to watch our step, though. If a guard spots us before we can get aboard one of them, we're lost.
There's a ship taxiing down this way now. Maybe that's our answer.
Well, I don't know. It's a small private job. I'd rather take a chance on a big passenger liner.
Personally, I'll settle for anything at this point.
Well, okay. It's moving to the takeoff line. Now watch for a chance.
Tom, look who's sitting next to the pilot of that ship.
Great galaxy. Am I seeing things?
It's Sally Wood.
There's our answer, Roger. She framed us.
Then she's going to do an about face and clear us. Come on, let's get on that ship before it takes off. Never mind. Too late to catch her now. There she goes.
Yeah, and there goes our only chance to clear ourselves.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Spaceman, Kellogg's Pep, the cereal that brings you these exciting Space Cadet adventures, now gives you a chance to collect detailed picture cutouts of your favorite Space Cadets. Right now at your grocery store, each and every regular-sized package of Kellogg's Pep has a special Space Cadet picture cutout right on the back of the package. All you have to do is cut it out and set it up in your own Space Cadet setting. You can get a picture of Astro, or Tom Corbett, Roger Manning in a spacesuit, Dr. Joan Dale in the official Space Academy dress uniform. You want to get all 4 Space Cadet picture cutouts, and it's easy to do. Nothing to mail, no box tops to send in. Your picture comes right on the back of every regular-sized package of Kellogg's Pep. And that's not all. Right inside that package of Kellogg's Pep, you're going to find the best-tasting wheat cereal you ever rustled into your cereal bowl. Just heat those golden flakes up high. Cover them over with milk and sugar. Man, when you taste a spoonful of that delicious whole wheat and malt flavor, you'll call for second helpings right on the spot. So don't forget, ask Mom to get Kellogg's Pep as soon as you can. For a swell build-up cereal with Space Cadet picture cutouts on the back of every package, it's Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Accused of stealing 1 million credits and hunted by the Solar Guard, Tom and Roger reached the Polar City spaceport only to see Sally Wood take off in a small jet ship for parts unknown. With Sally goes all their hope of being cleared of larceny and murder.
Well, she's gone, Tom, and we're sunk.
Blasted, I'd give anything to catch up with that girl.
No chance of that now.
Hey, there is, Roger.
What are you pointing at?
Look, there in the next hangar.
A Solar Guard jet.
The fastest ship in the air. We could overhaul Sally's jet even with the start she's got.
Steady your gyros, Tom. We can't steal a Solar Guard jet. They'd shoot us down before we got to the takeoff line.
Why? We know the recognition signals. And there's no one guarding the ship right now.
Say, we might get away with it at that.
We've got to. Pile aboard, Roger. We've lost too much time already.
Can't you get any more speed out of this crate, Tom?
She's wide open, Roger. Did you track them on the radar yet?
We're picking up something. Yeah, it's coming in clear now. It's Sally's ship, all right.
What's the range?
About 15 miles.
Oh, we'll catch them then. Better check the forward guns.
Where were we when you took the last bearing?
Over Central America. I figure they must be heading for somewhere in the vicinity of Amazon City.
Hey, Tom, we're overtaking them fast.
Right. Stand by. I can see them up ahead.
I'm all set.
We've got the altitude on them. I'll come in on a glide. We'll be on them before they even know we're here.
All right, but level off when we get close range to 1,000 yards. I want to put a blast in their left wing jet. That should force them to land.
Okay, you say when. We're in the glide now.
We're closing in fast. Watch it now. They're veering to the left.
I see them. Are you ready to fire?
Another 100 yards. I don't want to miss. Steady now. Okay, level off.
Right. Let them have it.
How's that for shooting?
Bullseye. They're losing altitude.
Look, they're going to set down that clearing up ahead.
Yeah, I'm with them.
There they go. They're landing.
Hang on, pal. We're going in ourselves. And let's hope there's room for both of us in that little clearing.
Nice landing, Tom. Now, let's nail them.
Look, Roger. Those two men from Sally's jets. They're escaping into the jungle.
Never mind them. Sally's the one we're after.
Ah, she must still be in the ship. Come on. Okay, Miss Wood. Come out of there.
Tom, Roger, back here in the cargo compartment.
There she is, Roger.
Hey, she's all tied up.
I'm so glad you found me. I hoped and prayed you'd realize what happened when I left my bracelet in your room.
We realized what happened. You tried to frame us.
No, never. I wanted you to know I was still alive, that I hadn't been killed in the crash.
What? Boy, when you make up stories, they're pips.
You've got to believe me. Those two men, they kidnapped me. They were holding me as a hostage, and they tried to pin it on you. That's why they left money behind.
Yeah, and why would they be holding you as a hostage? Hostage for what?
My father. He's just completed the plans for a new long-range interstellar rocket ship. They want the plans. Please, if you'll just take these ropes off, I'll tell you the whole story.
Go ahead, Roger. This is beginning to make sense now.
Okay. Hold still, Sally.
Thank you.
But keep talking. Start from the beginning.
Well, there isn't much to tell. I didn't ask for an escort just for the money. That wasn't important.
1,000,000 credits?
The plans I carried were worth 100 times as much, Roger. As a matter of fact, those two men left the money behind. See it there in the back of the compartment.
Hey, what do you know? We're rich again.
But what about the plans?
They have them.
Oh, why would you be carrying important plans?
My father knew these men were after them. He hoped to throw them off the track by having me take them to Earth.
And those two space crawlers found out.
Yes, somehow. They drugged our food on the Cosmia, landed the ship, took us off, then set the automatic controls for blast-off again. Of course it crashed.
Then they took us to the hotel to frame us.
That's right. I came to while we were there. That's when I left the bracelet. I heard them talking by audio tele with their leader, a man named Wayne Anders. He has a huge estate not far from Amazon City. That's where they were taking me.
Why? If they got the plans, they didn't...
Anders wanted to hold me to force my father to give him more information.
Well, what about us, Sally? We're still wanted for murder, you know.
Well, I'll go back to Polar City with you right now. Please don't worry. When I tell my story, you'll be completely clear.
Say, Roger, I've been thinking. If we take off for Polar City now, we'll be giving those men the time they need to get away with those plans.
Yeah, and since we're already down here...
boys, if we could only get those papers back.
You can count on us, Sally.
Oh, wait a minute, though. Just in case anything should happen to us, don't you think you'd better get in touch with your commanding officer at Space Academy and tell him everything?
She's right, Roger. Let's get back to our jet and pipe this information through to Captain Strong.
Okay, we'll send it in code, just to make sure Anders and his men don't tumble to our plan.
Good idea. As long as we're still considered fugitives, we can move in as undercover agents.
Fine. Now, Sally, where did we leave off?
What?
Oh, yeah, I remember. I was just starting to tell you about what a sweet little doll you are. Your hair is like moonlight. Your eyes are like stars.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom, Corbett, Space Cadet on Thursday, when Tom and Roger begin a search for a murderer, but find themselves hopelessly trapped in the jungle in Part 2 of The Escort of Death. Tune in, same time, same station for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Spaceman, this is Tom Corbett. We can help the thousands of families who lost their homes during the Midwest floods by giving to the Red Cross. Please give what you and your parents can to the Red Cross.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast were Jan Merlin, Rosemary Rice, and Frank Butler. Today's program was written by Gilbert Braun and directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Begg speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. And what a secret. In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin bran but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
This program came from New York. America is sold on ABC, the American Broadcasting.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are alone in a giant forest, seeking a way of escape, while around you, gaining with your every step, the relentless enemy, which is fire, is closing in from every side, until there will be only one way out, and that way is death.
So listen now as Escape brings you Anthony Ellis's exciting story, The Red Forrest.
The trail had led from a lumber town along a washboard road and into the forest. I'm no woodsman, but in the daylight, I found the place. And then I started back to the car. But something was different. Maybe the tall shadows. There wasn't a trail anymore. Only streams where there hadn't been before. Trees that were the same, but weren't. And sounds. Sounds that, when you were a kid on a hike, were fun. And now they scared you. I'd thrown my last cigarette away 3-4 hours before. And that's when the fire had started. And it was then that I started to run. Run. It was nearly dark when I found the road. I'd come to it about a half a mile below where I'd parked my car. A half hour later, on the outskirts of a little town, my headlights picked up a girl standing by the side of the road. She carried a cheap paper suitcase, and she was summing a ride.
Can I get a ride, mister?
Sure. Put your case in the back.
Oh, yeah. Not many cars on the road tonight.
No. Been walking long?
Uh-huh. On my way to Missoula. My last ride dropped me a mile or so back.
Yeah?
You live around here?
No.
I don't guess you'd be going as far as Missoula.
Sure.
Gee, that's swell. I got a job there starting tomorrow. Kind of broke, if you know what I mean. Buses cost money.
I know what you mean.
Hey, your face.
What?
You've been hurt. You're all scratched up.
Oh, I was hunting. I got lost just the other side of town. If you want to take a nap, it's okay. We've got about 100 miles to go.
Thanks. Gee, it's nice out here. Kind of lonely. Not much of a road. Smells good. I wonder what that is over there.
What?
Well, bright, like. See? Could almost be Seattle from a long ways off. I had a boyfriend used to take me driving at night. And when we came back, you could see a glow. Just like that.
I knew what it was. That glow in the sky. It was on our right. And as the road twisted through the trees, it fell behind us. And then to our left. And then circled until it was straight ahead again. The girl had fallen asleep very quickly. I saw her face in the light from the dash. Thin, pretty, and peaceful. It was about 15 minutes after I'd picked her up that I saw the lights on the road, and then closer the figures waving.
Hey, are we there already? I just got to sleep.
No, there's something wrong. There's a cop coming this way. What's the trouble?
Plenty. We want you, mister.
Wait, you want me?
Fire. Bad one. We gotta have every man we can find. We can use her, too.
Oh, well, look, I'd like to.
Roll.
Okay.
Rose, the forest ranger. He'll explain.
Look, I'm sorry, but I'm on my way to Missoula.
Not tonight, you're not. I've got authority to do this, mister. I'm sorry, but we need you.
But I haven't got...
You couldn't get much farther anyway. The road's cut off. The mountain's going up like a torch. If it spreads, there's 3 towns going to go, too. Come on, I got some clothes and boots for you.
Hey, what about me? I got to get to Missoula. I got a job in the morning.
Sorry, sister. You got a job serving coffee here.
You cop.
$5 a day.
A day?
Or longer. It depends. Let's go.
There was nothing else to do, so I got into the clothes the ranger gave me and then stood around and waited. I wasn't tired anymore. Just scared. Scared of going into that forest again. The wind came up a bit, and with it, the smell. Smell of burning. Smell of death. A long way off, but closer than the glow had been, we could see flickering against the sky. And it was in a lot of places. And then suddenly it was too warm and too quiet.
All right, you guys. The telephone's burned out. I've made contact with a shortwave set. Mister, what's your name?
Pindell.
Pindell. You ever use one of these?
What, a walkie-talkie? Yeah, sure. I was in the signal corps.
Okay, you'll carry it. Now, listen. This is bad. It's real bad. The fire's got behind us. We can't get any more men through here for several hours. They've got to come around from the other side. That's 30 miles.
What's the use then? Let's get out.
Crowbar.
Yeah?
I'm putting you in charge. You know what to do. Get in as close as you can to the river and set a backfire.
Sure.
I've got to stick here with the transmitter. I'll let you know what's happening.
Sure, you stay here with a pretty girl, we go and get fried.
Shut up, Hanson. You'll have to go with him. 3's not enough.
Sure.
Well, the cop's going to do some work.
You better take along
okay?
some food and canteens. Now step on it.
Hi. Got a couple of sandwiches I made up. Here.
Thanks.
It sure is something, isn't it?
Yeah.
You scared?
Scared? Why?
Your face is white. You scared?
I'm from the city.
I know what you mean. Those trees give me the willies, too. Dark.
Yeah, sure, that's it.
You'll be all right.
Listen, kid, if anything happens, you take my car. Here are the keys.
What do you mean?
Well, if I don't come back, keep the car. Here's the registration.
You kidding? You're coming back.
Yeah. So long.
Hey, my name's Jan. What's yours?
Wally?
You be careful, Wally.
We went into the forest. Men with spades, men against fire and terror. There was the man they called Fat. 300 pounds of ungainly body topped by a tiny and almost disgustingly childlike face. There was Crowbar, a big, dark man, quiet and filled with a knowledge of the woods. Hanson, the state trooper, thin and wiry, his natty khaki shirt stained with sweat and dirt. And me. We'd gone about a mile when we first heard it. It came in gusts with the wind high above us.
Wait a minute. Oh,
shut up.
Let's get out of here.
About 3 miles, I figure. It's coming fast.
We're about that far from the river, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, you guys. If it's crossed the river, we're sunk. Let's get out.
Hey, Wally.
Yeah.
Get Roe. Tell him it's coming this way pretty fast.
Look, Sparks
right.
up there. Look, see?
Sure, Fat.
Hello.
Sparks, fire. You
Hello.
chicken?
Oh,
Pendel calling roll. Pendel calling roll. Over.
Roll. This is Roll. Over.
We're still about 3 miles from the river. We can hear it. Over.
You can't backfire now. The wind's changed. You better come back. Over.
Right. He says go back.
That's okay with me, boy. Come on. Gee, listen to that.
I wanted to run again. That same feeling I'd known before. The fear all around us, closing in and down. There was no sky above, only blackness, tinged with red, pressing. And behind, the living forest running, overtaking and passing us. When we reached the road again, the sound was steady. But I had a strange feeling of relief when I saw the forest ranger and the girl, Jan. It was like coming home. I think it was then that I stopped being afraid.
Come on, Ro. We can't do no good now.
We got to try and join up with the others.
What do you mean?
The fire's on 3 sides of it. That means we head southeast.
Oh, can't we take the road back?
No, it's cut off. There's 200 men trying to keep a path open for us. We've got to make 5 miles and in a hurry.
Bad as that?
It's worse. If we don't get there in time and they can't make a fire break, we're going to be smack in the middle, and there's not going to be any way out.
We will return to Escape in just a moment. Lightning may strike more than once in the same place, but it can't begin to compete with man when it comes to starting forest fires. For one fire caused by lightning, supposedly rational humans cause 9 by trifling carelessness with matches, cigarettes, and bonfires. We need our forests for timber, to conserve our water supply, to add beauty to our lives. Let's not burn them up. And now, back to Escape.
We didn't carry anything but canteens. It was hot, and because it was hot, it made you thirsty even when you didn't need water. The going was rough, and we could only head in what we thought was the general direction of safety. It was at the ridge that
We lost the first man.
Wind's changing again, Crowbar.
Which way?
You can't tell. It's haywire with this fire.
Well, do we go straight ahead?
Might as well.
Wait a minute. You see that ridge?
Yeah?
Well, I'm going up there. Shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. I'll be able to get a better look. Give me the flash. I'll signal to you.
I don't know. We haven't got much of a start. The fire's behind us and lots faster.
Better than walking toward it. Remember, it's on 3 sides.
Okay. Make it fast, Crowbar.
Sure. Good luck. Thanks.
Well, what do we do? Just sit and wait?
That's right.
Now, listen. You're the ranger. Why don't you go? What you send Crowbar for?
He's fought fires before. He knows. He's a better man to climb up there. He's faster than me.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Hi. Oh.
You okay, kid?
Oh, sure, Wally. It's fine. I guess I'm not used to walking, though. These high heels don't help.
Well, you take it easy.
My feet feel like they did once at a dance I went to. Some big lunk climbed all over me.
I guess you won't have that job in Missoula, huh?
If I get out of this, that's all I care about.
Yeah, it's tough.
Hey, Wally. I'm scared. Give me your hand, will you?
She held on tight to my hand. It wasn't the darkness that frightened her now. There wasn't darkness anymore, but a yellowish-red light that came from everywhere. It was another kind of fear. Fear of something you could see, hear, and with every minute feel more and more. We waited there 10 minutes. 11, 12, and then...
You hear something?
Yeah.
Seemed to come from over there.
From the ridge, maybe?
Maybe.
Listen, you think something got Crowbar, a lion or something?
I'll go up.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No time. We waited too long.
Well, he may be hurt.
I know that, but it'll take you longer than it took Crowbar to get there. Come on.
No.
You couldn't find him in the dark. Who says he's hurt anyway? We'll move on. He'll catch up.
I'd say we go after him.
Not me.
All right, put it to a vote. Hurry up, Hanson.
We go on?
Pat?
Let's get out of here.
And I say go on. That leaves you, miss.
I'm staying with Wally.
All right. We'll go with you. We never saw Crowbar again. Maybe a lion got him. Maybe he got lost. We never saw him again. The ranger went ahead, finding trails somehow, keeping us moving. We began to climb, and after a while we were on another ridge. And for the first time we could see the fire. It stretched out for miles, like a huge red sea, and it was all around us.
Oh, gee, Wally.
Yeah, I know, kid. I know.
Will it hurt much?
I don't know.
Take a breather. I'm going to try the walkie-talkie again.
He's not scared, is he?
I guess not.
Is that because he's a ranger? Or because he's very brave?
Jan, you're a funny girl.
No, I'm not. Hey.
What?
Give me a kiss, will you?
Sure. Why did you want me to do that?
I don't know. You're a nice fella. I miss you.
Listen, Jan. I want to tell you something.
What?
If we get out, well, maybe...
Yeah.
Look, I'm all right. I mean, maybe we could have fun together.
I know.
Well, I did something wrong once. I killed a man.
Why?
He framed me. He got me put away for something I didn't do. We were driving in the east and ran over a woman. He was at the wheel, but he ran off and left me.
Well, you didn't do it.
That's what I said, but I'd been drinking and went to sleep. When I woke up, I was behind the wheel. He'd put me there. And that's how the cops found me.
I got 5 years.
Oh.
I was married. I lost my wife, my job, my friends. And I swore I'd get my pal. And I did. He knew I was after him, and he ran. But I caught up with him.
I don't care.
Don't you? I don't know why I told you that. Maybe because if we do get out...
Sure. I know. It's okay.
Come on, Findell. The Ranger's moving off.
It was the state trooper, Hanson. I worried how much he'd heard, but there wasn't time to worry about it then. Ro thought he'd seen a break in the fire, and we headed for it. When we got down in the trees again, I began to get a feeling that I'd been there before. It was nothing I could recognize, but just a feeling. A couple of 100 yards along, I knew why.
Hold up. There's a shack.
Looks like someone's living there. Better have a look.
The door's open.
Hey.
Man.
Give me a hand here.
Sure.
He's been shot.
Yeah. A few hours ago from the looks of it.
Do you think the man who did this might have started it?
What do you mean?
A fire. Started a few miles north of here. We figured somebody got careless with a match. But maybe it was the killer running away.
I'd like to get the fellow who did that. Maybe I will.
Me too. Well, we can't do anything here. Come on.
From there on, nobody talked. It was hard enough to lift your feet. Jan was nearly through. I half carried her. If Ro knew where he was leading us, he didn't say. We followed and knew that sooner or later we'd stop because we were too tired to go on. Fat was the first.
Wait a minute.
You've got to go on. There's still a chance.
Oh, Red. Just for a minute. No. Please, Red. No, please, 1 minute, that's all.
Get up.
No, I can't. I can't.
Okay, you stay.
No.
Well, then come on.
I can't.
Well, I'm sorry. Let's catch up to it. Stay on the train.
No.
Come on, Jan.
We're going to leave him.
We have to.
No! Don't leave me! The fellas are coming! Man, please! Lead the way!
Can we help him?
Oh, we're almost dead ourselves.
I can't! Oh, that's please, please! My goodness, please!
I don't know whether it was because none of us liked him or because we knew that we couldn't do anything. Funny how you can lose a man and know he's going to die, and you put him out of your mind. Perhaps we wanted to live so badly we figured the fire would take time out from us to attend to Fat. Hanson was next.
I'm finished.
No, you're not.
A little farther to go.
We can still get through.
No, you go ahead. Save the girl.
I'm sorry, Hanson. I wish...
No, go on. Maybe I can catch up. But I gotta rest. You, Wally, do me a favor.
What?
I lost my gun somewhere. You know what I mean. It'll be quicker that way. You got one?
Yeah.
Thanks. One bullet's fired, eh? That's what I wanted to know. Okay, Findell. I've had enough rest. I can keep up with you now. I'll feel a little safer with this on me. All right, go ahead. I'll walk behind you.
He knew what I'd done. But I didn't care now. It wasn't important anymore. Right now, all I wanted to do was get Jan out of this.
What was that?
It was behind us. It sounded like Hanson.
Come on.
Come on, go watch that ravine.
He must have fallen.
We gotta help him.
There's no time.
We got to.
Oh, he didn't help Fat. Why him?
I don't know. Please.
All right. All right, stay here. Hanson! Hanson! Down here! But keep calling! Here! And over this way! This way! Okay.
Oh, my leg.
Hey, can you get up?
It's broken, I guess.
Hanson, you know about me, don't you?
Yeah, I know. I heard you telling the girl.
She won't say anything.
No, I guess not.
The fellow had it coming to him.
I wouldn't know. I'm a cop.
Yeah.
It's getting hot.
Here. Put your arm over my shoulder.
No, you can't get me up there.
Well, I can try. Come on.
No good. We can't make it.
I'll get rolled. I'll come back.
No, there's no time. Go on. Get out of here.
Well,
Go on. I got your gun. Nobody will ever know.
That's not sorry.
Get out of here.
Somehow I made it up the trail again. I thought I heard a shot. Or maybe it was a burning tree going down. John was waiting for me. We caught up with Rowe and went on until the trees began to thin out. Then we heard the shots of men. But I don't remember anything else. Because I passed out for a long time.
When I woke up, Jan was sitting by my bed, and it was cool again.
Hi.
Jan, did they get Hanson out?
No.
No. Listen, Jan, about what I told you back there. You know, the man I killed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sorry. I mean, it was all right about him, but not Hanson, Crowbar, and Fat. That was my fault, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to call the cops.
No.
Now, listen, I've been dreaming about it. It's no good. Now, be a good kid and call the cops.
I don't have to. They're outside in the corridor.
Now, what do you mean?
Rose sent for him. You told what you did while you were unconscious.
I told... Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad.
You want me to hang around?
All right. That's up to you, I guess.
I guess it is. I'll hang around.
Escape has brought you The Red Forrest, written and directed by Anthony Ellis, starring William Conrad as Wally and Georgia Ellis as Jan. Featured in the cast were Parley Bear, John Daner, Jay Novello, and Tom Tully. The special music for Escape was composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are in a lighthouse off the steaming coast of French Guinea, while around you, frightful in its fury, a nightmare of terror and violence is closing in on you. A nightmare from which there is no escape.
So listen next week when, by popular request, Escape repeats one of its most unusual stories, Free Skeleton Key by Georges Toudoux. Those favorites of millions, yours truly, Johnny Dollar and Mr. and Mrs. North, make for highly exciting listening as Johnny prowls the world for adventure and the Norths meet murder merrily. Now, most of these same stations also bring you 21st Precinct. Great stories based on the world's largest police department. Consider this an invitation to excitement and adventure Tuesdays on CBS Radio. This is George Walsh speaking. And remember, Gene Herschel stars as kindly Dr. Christian every Wednesday evening on the CBS Radio Network.
The American Broadcasting Company Radio Network presents Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are on Neptune, following the criminal Ralph Bolger into a deserted factory building. An invisibility transmitter concealed outside enables them to trail Bolger through the solid walls of a huge metal tank.
Oh, it sure is dark in here.
Now's a chance to close in on Bolger. When you step through the other side of the tank, rush him.
Yes, sir. Hey! Oh! Commander, the wall is solid. We can't get through.
Something happened to the invisibility field transmitter. We're sealed inside the tank.
We'll be back in a moment with the thrilling story, Escape from Neptune. The children in American families will receive things like bikes, trains, dolls, books for Christmas. But there are many children in the world today who would be happy if they had enough to eat on Christmas Day. Thousands of children in Europe, Asia, South America, the Philippines, and Korea are suffering from inadequate food, lack of clothing, and cramped living quarters. Include these children on your gift list. For $1, CARE will send 28 pounds of food abroad in your name to an orphanage or a needy family. If you can spare more than $1, fine. Send your contribution to Food Crusade, CARE, C-A-R-E, CARE, New York, to any local CARE office or to CARE through any Railway Express agency. And now today's Space Patrol adventure, Escape from Neptune. For several weeks, a feeling of insecurity and fear has been spreading throughout the United Planets. Despite the relentless efforts of Commander Corey and the Space Patrol, a master criminal continues to strike where he pleases, under the protection of an electronic device that renders him invisible. At the present moment, the criminal Ralph Bolger is making use of a temporarily inactive factory building in the capital city of the planet Neptune. Bolger stands glowering down at an elderly man who lies exhausted on a crude bike.
You had enough rest, Rayburn. Get back to work.
I can't work anymore, soldier. I'm completely worn out. Let me alone, please.
Now you listen to me. I've got to have another invisibility field transmitter right away. I only got one before he captured the other one. Now get up and into the workshop. I've had enough of your stubborn attitude. If you think Corey's going to rescue you, forget it. The Space Patrol isn't even looking for you. Well, isn't it? Corey thinks I stole your invisibility equipment, and then I got rid of you. That is right. Your life depends on one thing, Rayburn. Your usefulness to me. Now, get busy and finish the transmitter.
I couldn't even if I wanted.
Why not?
There's not enough I don't. Just enough to keep it invisibility.
Just tell me where to get it.
It's not like ordinary materials. You just can't go out and buy it or steal it. It's to be manufactured. Made from one of the rare earths under tremendous heat and pressure. I've never made more than 5 pounds of it.
How much of that 5 pounds have you used? Come on, tell me.
Down with braces.
And there is still about 3.5 pounds of vibronium in existence.
Perhaps, but I don't know where it is.
Who worked with you on that invention?
No.
Don't lie to me. A moment ago, you said we never made more than 5 pounds of that stuff. Now, who is we?
It was some time ago. I don't remember. I have a lot of different assistants over the years.
Well, Joan, you don't remember we worked with an invention as important as this?
Yes.
You got to have help to build a transmitter. Someone who knows what they are doing. I'm going to bring that assistant of yours here to Neptune City.
No, you can't do that.
You are going to write a letter. It's the only way you can save your life.
In his central office at Space Patrol headquarters on Terra, Commander Corey cuts off the intercom and turns to Cadet Hackett. Hap, that list of former associates of Professor Rayburn, have you got it handy?
Yes, sir. It's right here.
You can cross off number 23.
23. Oh, that's Lanine Harvey.
Yes. There's a whole list of 40 people. She's the only one who's been interested enough to call here in person.
So far, the best we've got is a note from a former student that saw Professor Rayburn 3 years ago.
How to get it? Okay, Miss Harvey? Miss Harvey, this is Cadet Hackett.
How do you do?
How do you do, Miss Harvey? Please sit down.
Thank you, Commander. I'll tell you why I came here. I received this letter yesterday. It's from Professor Rayburn's handwriting.
Dear Lanine, I've reached the point in my work where only you can help me. You realize the nature of my experiments, and I ask you to bring every step about Germany you can lay your hands on. Please tell no one about this. Come at once. Are you sure this is his handwriting?
Positive.
Part of his pages and turn off.
Yes, I did. I was addressed in Neptune City. I memorized it and then tore it off and destroyed it.
Do you know anything about the fact that Professor's invisibility field transmitters have been used in a series of crimes?
Oh, no.
Miss Harvey, the Professor's life is in danger. If you follow the instructions in that letter, you can lead us to Rock Bolger and possibly save the Professor's life. But at the risk of your own.
What's the alternative?
That's the rest of Neptune City. That's quite a surprise, baby.
But you'd be more sure of success if I helped. Is that it?
With a concealed miniature space experiment, let us know the layout. It's like our villagers outside.
All right, Commander. I'll keep the appointment.
I warn you that you're being considered a dangerous one.
I know. But if I go to Neptune City, I'll be in danger a certain time and place. If I don't go, I'll never be safe anywhere or anytime.
Until Bolger's tested, it's clear that. Thank you, Miss Harvey. I'll get a miniature space plane for you, then you can proceed to Neptune City. In his hideout in Neptune City, Ralph Bolger received a space plane call from Chip Getman, one of his agents on Terra.
We'll be on the Green Star Special, Bolger. That'll bring her to Neptune tomorrow about 1300 hours.
Has she contacted anyone?
I don't think so. Spent a couple of hours at the scientific library. Came out a different X than I was.
For how long?
Not more than 20 minutes. I picked her up again on Terra Boulevard, the United Planets Park.
That is right near Space Patrol headquarters.
Yeah. Got it.
She could have visited headquarters.
Might have, but she didn't act like it.
It's a brilliant remark, Gessner. Just how does a person behave after he has been in Space Patrol headquarters? Is there something different about him?
Oh, no. What I meant was...
Listen, Gessner. We are going to change our plans slightly. If Lonnie and Harvey talk to Corey, he may be watching that address here in Neptune City.
So what? You'll be invisible and so will I be.
Corey has one of those field transmitters. You'll have to get the girl before she gets to that address. Can you get to Neptune before she dies?
Sure. If I blast off right away.
Do that. I'll put the invisibility transmitter in a surface car and meet you at Neptune City Spaceport. We'll grab the girl before she gets anywhere near the place where she expects to meet Rayburn.
Several hours later, a surface car moves slowly along the street in Neptune City. Both the car and the two men in it are invisible to the throngs along the busy thoroughfare. Moreover, the field generated by the transmitter enables them to pass through matter in its normal state. Thus, the stream of traffic is completely unaware of the existence of the invisible car and its occupants. Slow down a little, Gessner. The girl is stopping to look in the store window. Moving on now. She's heading right toward the car. Stop the car. Do not touch that field transmitter. It's set just the way I want it. Several blocks away, near the address given them by Lenine Harvey, Buzz and Happy keep close watch on an apartment building through electronic spectacles. Like Bolger and Gettner, they, too, are in a surface car made invisible by an ultra-vibration transmitter. Miss Harvey should be here pretty soon, isn't it? Yes. Now remember her. And don't move until she's inside and has a chance to let us know the setup. Suppose Bolger stays with her and doesn't give her a chance to use the space equipment. We can tell a lot by the time we see her. Just to know how many we've got to fight.
Let go of me! Let go of me!
Yes, Miss Harvey. She's in trouble now. Bolger steps in and expected her. I'll find out where she is.
Help me! Help me, someone!
When is it time to see you what is?
Bolger.
You're hurting me!
Then stop, Harvey. Come on, get in the car.
He must have grabbed her right on the street.
What have you done to my eyes? I can't see.
You are invisible to special electron spectacle. Now, get to that car.
Where are you taking me?
Well, that's the racer.
I was going to be a bit today.
Now, then, waiting in the factory field. This is not part of the city. Let's go, Gettner. How do we get to the factory? We just go straight out on Draco Boulevard. It's a Draco and Gamma.
Draco and Gamma, let's go, Hap. Yes, sir. Protected by the invisibility field, Buzz and Happy drive to the deserted factory building at Draco and Gamma. Their electronic spectacles enable them to see another car perform the amazing feat of passing through a solid fence. Swiftly, Buzz adjusts the field of their own transmitter. Then he and Happy get out of the car. There's Bolger, and he's got Miss Harvey. I'm headed toward the building. But there was another man in the car. Let's go ahead. The man in the car can't see us even through young electronic spectacles. So all we've got to do is follow Bolger and the girl. Right, come on. Bolger's carrying his portable transmitter into the building. Well, there they go, right through the wall. We're going to have to keep them in sight. Here's where they step to the wall. Be ready to rush Bolger. He's leading toward that big storage tank. They're walking right through the tank. It's sure dark in here. And they step through the other side of the tank. Rush Bolger. Yes, sir. Come on. The wall is solid. We can't get through. Something happened to the invisibility field transmitter. We're sealed inside the tank.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. The United States has seen many changes in the past dozen years, all pointing to a still better way of living. Millions more Americans are working, earning more, saving more. We're eating more and eating better. More young people are going to high school and college. More of us are getting paid vacations. More of us are enjoying the luxuries of life. Sports, radio, television, the theater, concerts. Church attendance and membership has climbed steadily upward. In addition to these material and spiritual changes have come the miracles of jet propulsion, supersonic flight, antibiotics. The better you know America, the better the future looks. Write for the free booklet, The Future of America, Box 1776, Grand Central Station, New York, 17. Now back to today's Space Patrol adventure, Escape from Neptune. Ralph Boger and his accomplice, Chip Detner, have captured Lenine Harvey and have taken her to a deserted factory in Neptune City, where they intend to force her to build invisibility field transmitters. Buzz and Happy were following Boger and his captive through the metal walls of a huge storage tank. Suddenly, the electronic field was cut off, and the space patrollers found themselves sealed inside the tank. Now, in another part of the factory building, Ralph Boger unlocked the door and thrust Lenine into a room.
Get in there!
Lenine?
Professor Raven.
You two probably have a lot to talk about, so I'll leave you together for a while.
Force me to write that letter, Lenine.
I understand.
And there is something else you are going to understand. Both of you. You are here for just one purpose, to build invisibility transmitters. I will be back in a few minutes.
But you have no idea what a thing this court
Please, Professor, I don't blame you. Right now we've got to think of a way to help Commander Forrest. He's in a worse fix than you are. Yes, we thought of that. Boger and his friend Detmer sealed the command in a big storage tank. I don't know what they're up to until it's too late. I was found inside the tank. I realized the commander was in prison. I think to get Happy's in there with him.
It's a hard tank. It could survive for some time,
Unless what?
The tank can be filled with gas. There's a compression chamber next to the tank filled with antifreeze.
Antifreeze? That's deadly poison.
Doesn't occur to Bozer to turn that valve.
He's done it. I saw him hurry near the tank. I twisted the valve as he walked past. I didn't think about it. How much time have we got? Yes, to save the commander.
You can survive 10 or 15 minutes, perhaps. I can't get out of this room. I know. I've tried it.
We've got the field transmitter.
It's no good without the belts. We couldn't walk through the wall unless we were wearing belts with the control units turned on.
The commander and the cadet are wearing belts. That's how they got into the tank in the first place. If we could focus the field toward them...
It's worth a try.
Quick, Professor. Turn on the transmitter.
How long have we been trapped here, sir?
About 10 minutes, I'd say.
It seems like hours. It was 15:40 when we pulled up outside the factory, and now it's... Hey, sir, I can't even see the dial on my watch. It's so dark.
The dial's luminous. Happy you should be able... That's strange. I can't see my watch either.
Maybe the gas has affected our eyes.
Yeah. Have you got your electronic goggles on?
No, sir. I slipped them up on my forehead. Now I can see the watch. It's 15:52.
We couldn't see the dial because we're inside an invisibility field. Somebody turned on a transmitter.
Hey, then we can get out of here.
On your feet, Hap, quick.
Come in.
Boger might be close by.
What's the matter? I'm blacking out.
It's a shock of pure air. That gas in the tank.
There's no shake to look for Boger.
We'll hide behind that stack of supplies to the car. Can you make it?
I don't think so.
Well, relax, Hank.
I hope we got it focused right, Professor.
I think so. The trouble is, in that dark tank, they might not know the field is on. With that gas pouring in...
Please, Professor.
Wait. You're spaceable. You can tell them.
Why didn't we think of that before?
I did think of it. I didn't dare turn it on unless Bodger and his partner are here with me.
Yes, I see what you mean. If they have space of room, I happen to be near the commander, your voice would give away the whole thing.
Someone's coming. What about the field transmitter?
Get on.
So you see, Lenin, all I did was devise circuits to combine and control the effects you and I discovered years ago. Well, I'm glad to see you have decided to cooperate. Wait a minute. Is that thing on?
I was merely demonstrating to Miss Harvey the sequence of operations.
Shut it off, quick!
Of course, if you say so.
I wouldn't want the field to penetrate the storage tank, although it wouldn't make any difference now.
Oh, what do you mean?
You didn't know it, Miss Harvey, but Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are in the tank. You'll never be troubled by Corey again.
Did you go inside the tank?
With all the poisonous gas in there? Don't be foolish. Now, come with me, both of you.
Where are you taking us?
We are blasting off for Saturn. Getman has taken the field transmitter out of the commander's car. Now, I will take this one, and we will go to the spaceport.
Roger, listen. The professor's very ill. Acceleration of the space flight would be dangerous.
I never thought of that. Rayburn, now that we have 2 complete transmitters as models, do you think Miss Harvey could do the work alone? Answer me!
Of course I could.
Splendid. Then there is no use taking a useless old man along.
We'll let the professor go through.
I cannot have him running to the space patrol until we are safely away from Neptune. And this ought to keep him quiet for a few hours.
Oh, you big boy. Stretching an old man.
If you give me any trouble, Miss Harvey, you will get the same treatment. Now, let's go. You lock the door. I have a ray gun in one hand and the transmitter in the other.
You can't lock him in here. He'll never get out.
Oh, the space patrol will probably find him in a few hours when they come looking for Corey. Now, do as you're told. Come on. Gessner is waiting in the car.
Fully recovered from their ordeal in the storage tank, Buzz and Happy carefully searched the factory building.
That place seems unnaturally quiet, sir. I think Bojan is probably took the 2 factories and got around. I've been hoping our spacephones would come to light with a message from Miss Harvey. Try this one, Harvey. I'll put it in the radio. Yes, sir. It's locked. Smoke and rockets. Professor Rayburn.
Commander.
Yes, sir.
Lenin, I'm taking her to Saturn. Bodger and Getner. They thought you were in the tank. They've taken Lenin to Saturn.
Where on Saturn?
I don't know.
Professor, did Miss Harvey mention the miniature spacephone?
Yes.
Does she still have it?
She didn't. Bodger took her away. She was afraid to use it.
Professor will take you to a hospital. And we'll blast off for Saturn.
With Professor Rayburn safely in a doctor's care, Buzz and Happy rushed to the Terra 5 and launched themselves into space toward the planet Saturn.
Not a sign of a ship in the viewscope, sir. Bodger might have made his ship invisible. And how are we ever going to find them? We probably won't find them out in space. But after they land on Saturn, they'll have to shut off that transmitter sometime. And every city on Saturn's been alerted.
Attention, any space soldiers. This is an emergency.
It's Miss Harvey. You're taking care of that signal, huh? Yes, sir.
Space patrol unit. This concerns Commander Corey. Neptune Garrison.
We must be close to Bodger's ship to pick up that signal. Then the space won't transfer to that special frequency. Commander Corey calling Lenin Harvey. Commander Corey calling Lenin Harvey.
Commander, you're alive.
Yes, thanks to you. Professor Rayburn told us how you focused the beam on the storage tank.
Professor, is he all right?
Yes, he's resting at Neptune City Hospital. Now, let's see what we can do about you. You're in Bodger's ship, right?
Yes. And nav compartment on the starboard side. I hope they can't hear the space phone.
No, not unless they suspect something and tune to this special frequency. Have to get a fix on the lean signal. Yes, sir. Bodger's ship is invisible, I suppose.
Yes. They're headed for Saturn. That's all I know.
Well, just follow these instructions and we'll be able to find you. Hold your spaceophone against the bulkhead of your compartment. Then you'll be transmitting the vibrations of the rocket exhaust. You'll follow the signal and overtake the ship.
Yes, Commander. But then what?
The field on the two ships are entirely different types of matter.
I'll put on a spacesuit and jump from this ship to Boja's. Once I'm inside the invisibility field, my vibration rate will be the same as yours.
Yes, that's true.
And I can come in through the airlock with an atomo torch if necessary.
Commander, if something goes
We've
wrong...
talked long enough, Miss Harvey. Put the spacephone against the bulkhead.
All right, Commander. And good luck.
I've got it fixed, Commander. We're gaining on Boja.
Good. Keep the ship on course, Hap. I'll get into a spacesuit.
I tell you, Boja, that's Corey's ship. That's Corey's ship, all right. But that doesn't mean he's in it. The Space Patrol probably searched the factory and found old man Rayburn. He tells them we're headed for Saturn. Corey's still in the tank. Maybe. Look at that ship. If it was any closer, it would pass right through it. What if it does? This is a different state of matter than we are. See? Now, shooting clear ahead of us. If the pilot only knew how close he came to us. There's still something funny about it. With all of empty space to fly in, that ship followed us like a dog chasing a rabbit to a hollow log. But obviously, no one in the ship saw it. In a few minutes, it will be out of sight. Boja, that girl back there. Suppose she could have signaled a space patrol? How could she? She's locked up. I'm going back out to make sure. All right, Getman. Something funny's going on here. I can feel it. Hey, what are you doing?
I'm looking.
Hide something. Hold your hands out in front of you. I said hold your hands out.
Oh, you're hurting
Let me
me.
see those hands. That's how Corey's ship follows. When I get through with you, you won't be able to move, let alone talk. Let go of her, get there.
Commander.
With a Lockwood fighting in a spacesuit. I'll take it off before I go up after Boja.
Can I do anything to help?
Yes. Keep getting his ray gun, keep an eye on him. When I get out of this suit, you'll lock him in the compartment.
Well, getting there. Did you and Miss Harvey had a nice chat? How is our charming prisoner?
Just fine, thanks.
That's good. And as you can see, that other ship is... Corey!
Get away from those controls.
Don't get there! Get there! Help! Please, I had enough.
Spoil some, Boja. We're saving a couple to pay you for those 10 minutes in your tank. Mind if I use your space up now? Commander Corey calling Cadet Happy. Commander Corey calling Cadet Happy.
Happy here, sir.
Everything's under control at this end. Set a vector to return to Neptune City. I'll bring in Getner and Boja.
Very good, sir. I still can't see you in the viewscope.
I'll cut off the invisibility field. Now, how's that?
Fine, sir. How's Lenine?
Okay. He's back aft guarding Getner. Boja's up here, but he's not saying that. I guess he finally realizes that this is the end of his career as the Invisible Man.
Well, not quite, sir. Where he's going, nobody's going to see him for a long time.
A preview of next week's Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Boys and girls, we have a special announcement. Buzz and Happy with the Space Patrol group have just made some exciting records on the planet Terra, telling of their early adventures in the Space Patrol, how Buzz Corey became Commander-in-Chief, and the thrilling story that made him choose Happy as his personal cadet. The records have been flown to Earth in the Terra 5, and you can get them at your favorite record counter. Just ask for the Space Patrol Adventure Story. And now a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz is at the controls of a strange spaceship in another galaxy, with Happy nearby in the Terra 5. In contact by miniature spaceophone, they plan the rescue of a fellow Space Patrol pilot.
That enemy ship is gaining on Northfield, Commander. If I pulled ahead now, maybe I could draw him off.
No, Happy, get you and Northfield both. I'd stand a better chance than you because I'm in an enemy ship.
That's great. He'll think you're his buddy.
Stick close, Hap, as though the Terra 5 were still captured.
Yes, sir. If we can keep that guy fooled for a few minutes more, we can rescue Northfield. Uh-oh. Hey, Commander, this is terrible.
What is it, Happy?
I just picked up the enemy commander's spacephone channel. He knows we've escaped. Just gave that enemy pilot orders to blast both our ships.
Be with us next week for the thrilling Space Patrol story, The Lost Galaxy. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Virginia Hewitt, Bella Kovach, and Ken Mayer. Lee Zimmer speaking. Don't forget to tune in next Saturday at the same time for exciting adventure on Space Patrol. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.